very kindly. When the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off, oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise. I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands, 'cause the wind came out your butt and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see the car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through, always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whooping ain't over. Heard you think you're tough. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass, talking all that shit, spank that ass till you tap like a bitch. No, I ain't playing. I'm here to kick ass. Whoop that ass, it's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a punch like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive tip in his hand. His hand grew 10 times its normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if a bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpowers to make a bitch listen, then get her naked with X-ray vision. Sweep a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, his pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, his pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was super bad. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my pimp hand to correct. It's called a bitch slap. Slap. Come get your face clapped.
Man, welcome back, y'all, to another one, man. Another episode of Let's Talk JVJ Jordan. Well, no, it's actually not an episode of Let's Talk JVJ Jordan. Welcome back to the JVJ Network. I am your host, Let's Talk with JVJ. I hope everybody's doing all right tonight. We got some interesting stuff to talk about, some interesting things to watch, because, this is a very important year. We usually get this every 4 years. But before we even get into anything, y'all do your boy a favor as usual, man. We trying to grow around here, and we can only do what y'all help. So y'all hit that like button on your way in, hit that subscribe on your way in, share the videos, turn notices on, all that in the bag of chips, y'all. We trying to grow around here, and we can only do it with y'all help. Now, last night we had a presidential debate. Second presidential debate, but first debate between Donald J. Trump, the former president, and Kamala Harris, the current vice president. Now, it was held on, I think, I don't even know who hosted it. ABC News, I think, probably hosted it. And we need to go through it, man. We need to go through it. These are the two candidates that might possibly be the next leader of the so-called free world. And we need to know what they are willing, or what is their plan for us as American citizens. So we're going to jump into it, y'all. We're going to have fun with it, hopefully. See who's full of shit, who's telling lies. See, one of these people might need, that bitch slap. Give it to him in a second. But I'm not going to waste any more of your time, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get into it. And let's see what we got, y'all. Check it out. Man, what took so long?
Most consequential event of their
presidential debate starts right now.
This is an ABC News special. The most consequential moment of this campaign. Kamala Harris.
Together, we will chart a new way forward.
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. The ABC News presidential debate. Here now, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Good evening, I'm David Muir, and thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate.
You know it's smooth. We about to go through this thing, man. Hop to it. Spit on that thing. Let's get it.
We want to welcome viewers watching on ABC and around the world tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump are just moments away from taking the stage in this unprecedented race for president.
And I'm Lindsay Davis. Tonight's meeting could be the most consequential event of their campaigns, with Election Day now less than 2 months away. For Vice President Kamala Harris, this is her first debate since President Biden withdrew from the race on July 21st. Of course, that decision followed his debate against President Donald Trump in June. Since then, this race has taken on an entirely new dynamic.
And that brings us to the rules of tonight's debate. 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. No topics or questions have been shared with the campaigns. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions, and this is the clock. That's what they'll be seeing. 2 minutes for rebuttals.
Yeah, we got to skip some of this
1 minute
shit
for follow-ups. Were 4 years ago.
Let's get them on stage.
Thank you.
There we go.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Before we get started, shout out to my girl, Miss Embrace the Grace. I can't get behind that Trump, but shout out to Grace. Let's get it.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
So let's get started. I want to begin tonight with the issue that voters repeatedly say is their number one issue, and that is the economy and the cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before. which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality. And we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump, will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounced back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy. And the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
It's just a soundbite. They gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice President brought up your tariffs. You responded, and let's drill down on this, because your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed out here, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, imposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll mean higher prices on gas, food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs the typical family nearly $4,000 a year. Do you believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices.
I've been trying to let it play, y'all, and I'm going to let it play. This is one thing that the point that he's getting at right now, and I hope y'all heard what the reporter said. I know some people will say, oh, why the reporter going at him like that? They're kind of letting them spar right now. They're letting them go back and forth. But one of the biggest talking points that I get when I talk to a lot of my conservative friends, they say the tariffs were good. All those tariffs did was raise the prices of normal goods that we use on a daily basis. That's all it did. The company had to pay more to import it to America. So what did they do? They raised the prices on certain goods, and we still had to buy it. They're not going to pay that extra cost. They're just going to pass it on, your dumbasses. That's why a lot of shit has still not gone down after the pandemic. We had a supply chain shortage. We had tariffs going on, and the entire world shut down. They raised the price of a lot of our goods. Why are the prices still the same? You can pay it when you were broke. Why would I lower the price? That's what a lot of these companies think about. And shout out to everybody that's up in here. We got my girl, Miss Jackson, up in here. Shout out to Smooth again. Uncanny up in the building. Grace, I don't know where you keep saying this earpiece. I don't know where it is. She did say it's in her earring. I don't know what that is. But the tariff thing, like, if he's going to keep doubling down, and I want to see what his answer is going to be on this. If he doubles down on tariffs again, that's not good for the American society. It's not. Because we're the ones that's got to pay that shit. We got to pay it, not them. And they're not suffering. They're just raising their prices.
This is what's going to have, and who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years. I was the only president ever. China was paying us hundreds of billions of dollars, and so were other countries. And, you know, if she doesn't like them, they should have gone out and they should have immediately cut the tariffs. But those tariffs are there 3.5 years now under their administration. We are going to take in billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country.
I'm going to interrupt this guy a lot tonight, because I don't know why he's just saying shit like that. People are out here buying cereal, eggs, and bacon. I went grocery shopping like yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. Yeah, what day was it? I think I went grocery shopping Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I didn't buy no bacon and eggs because I don't really make breakfast like that. And I damn sure don't buy cereal no more. But I don't know what he's talking about. It might be the same time when he says you need it, I need to buy bread. Grace said simple economics. I'm guessing you're saying high demand, low demand. You got Red up in the building. Shout out to Red here. When tariffs go up, domestic good prices go down. I don't know who told you that. Grace said low supply. And then I already know who this is. Check Me Out Music said China sells the cheapest ish. Trump stay lying, laughing out loud. Yeah, I've been buying a lot of shit from T-Move lately, y'all. And see, Uncanny said them earrings were supposed to be headphones, allegedly, accusations, false accusations. Hold up, I give it to you one time, y'all.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
yeah, I don't even get it. I really want a lot of people on my right to stop coming up with conspiracy theories. But it is what it is, man. Believe what you want to believe. But the tariffs were not a benefit to the United States. It caused the prices of a lot of our shit to go up. And maybe we wouldn't have this issue, y'all. Remember, we did a whole breakdown of the economics in America, why the situations are the way they are. Maybe if we didn't allow people like Ronald Reagan and Clinton to sell the United States out, the citizens out, to get cheaper products and shipping all the jobs to China. Now they're complaining about China. China's got all the jobs. They're sending all this cheap. That's what our government did to us. I don't understand how you demonize somebody for doing exactly what you fucking paid them to do. It's like, no, you're the problem, not China. You're the problem. How China built up all that money? Because you shipped all the goddamn manufacturing over there, you dummy. But, either way, though, demonize somebody already. They already demonized the immigrants. Immigrants, legal immigrants. And now you're demonizing China. I want to see when she say something stupid that I don't like. But we're going to keep going. Let's keep going, y'all.
Are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy. And all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy was terrible.
Vice President Harris, I do want to ask for your response. And you heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is, under Donald Trump's presidency, he ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out, when a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins the competition for the 21st century, which means focusing on the details of what that requires, focusing on relationships with our allies, focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we win the race on AI, on quantum computing, focusing on what we need to do to support America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did, let's talk about this, with COVID, is he actually thanked President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi, ! When we know that Xi was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about the origins of COVID.
President Trump, I'll let you respond.
First of all, they bought their chips from.
I gotta get her on this one, y'all. I gotta get her on this one. You're saying that he thanked President Xi, my bad. Don't want to get that name wrong. During that whole time, it was a big ass argument about where that shit actually came from. And I will say this because you got to be straight up. Democrats were the main ones trying to make it seem like it didn't come from China. Republicans were like, especially him, he was like, oh no, that Chinese lab shit. And that's why we got that anti-Asian hate bill out here, because, once he started saying that shit out loud, we had some Americans that wanted to go put their hands on Asian folks. Asian folks got a bill real quick. But I don't know why she said that. I don't thank them for what. I don't know. But let's see. Red said, so she the anti-China one now. Hey, look, we got to call it out. We got to call a spade a spade. Look. She was on that side advocating for it. Grace said, it's the lesser of two evils. I'm going with testosterone. Look, I ain't gonna hold you, man, because that's what we've been told since we've been growing up, since we was little kids. It's the lesser of two evils when it comes to this politics. We know how we change that as American citizens. Stop going for the bullshit. Don't choose between the lesser of two evils. Make sure we get better candidates. We got a criminal on one side, we got a bitch on the other side that just locked up anybody. She don't really give a fuck. And look, just be honest. Neither one of these people care about the American public. I think we all can agree to that. They don't truly care about the American public. They care about their reputation, their future. I think he's trying to stay out of jail, and I think she wants to make history because she probably has an ego problem too. They don't give a fuck about us. They'll say whatever the fuck they need to say. But I'm waiting to hear some real shit, man. I'm ready to hear some real shit. Let's keep going.
Taiwan, we hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals. And that's bad for our economy, too. You mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
President Trump, thank you. Lindsay?
I want to turn to
You gotta ask this question because he keeps saying that. First off, he said she has this policy that's destroying America. But just a second ago, you said she ain't got no policy. So what is it? Is she behind all this shit that's causing this bad stuff to happen in America, or is she not? Like, how is she gonna have bad policy, but then say she has no policy? And first off, Trump needs to stop saying this shit. Let's be real. She's a vice president. She's not the president. And even out of Trump's own mouth, when he was giving a conversation about J.D. Vance, when he first picked him to be his running mate, he says, y'all need to stop worrying about J.D. Vance. The vice president doesn't do anything. You're voting for me. So why does he keep saying this shit that she did this and she did that when she's the fucking vice president? Out of your own mouth, the vice president doesn't do anything. So come on, man. I don't get that.
To the issue of abortion, President Trump, you've often touted that you were able to kill Roe v. Wade. Last year, you said that you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you said that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion ban because you initially had said that it was too short. And you said, quote, I'm going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. But then the very next day, you reversed course and said you would vote to support the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
Well, the reason I'm doing that vote is because the plan is, as you know, the vote is they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before. He said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years. They've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions. Very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime, a violation to their body, does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, If Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
Pause right here, because this topic right here is very irritating to me. On both sides of the issue, it's very damn irritating. Grace said, but y'all y'all can tell a man what to do with money, get the fuck out of here. Look, that's one side that I'm really like on. Like, lady, you sitting over here talking about a woman's right to choose to do what she wants to do with her body. Does the father give consent? Because technically that's his seed inside of her. But we never speak about that. We never speak about that. That's very irritating. See, check me out. I'm just saying, Op said they shouldn't tell the government what they want help with when it comes to their bodies then. That's a good question. Like, look, why are our taxpayer dollars going to something you made a conscious decision as a grown-ass adult to lay down and get that baby gravy, and now you don't want it later, but the government has to help fund paying for you getting rid of that. Pretty much, the government's paying for your get-out-of-jail-free card. That doesn't seem like it's right to me. We always complaining about where our tax dollars are going to, especially when it goes to, black and brown people and shit. Well, I don't want my money going to women getting abortions. Just throwing that out there. See, Red said, playing the female emotion right now. Hey, good thing about that one, Red, good thing about that one is it ain't nobody in that goddamn audience. So you can play it, but I don't know. It might be hitting. It might be hitting for some other people. That shit didn't hit for me. That was kind of like, ugh. And see, Smooth said Trump pointed out they had 50 years to do something about it. They did have 50 years to do something about it. And you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, Grace, I said baby gravy. You know what the funny thing about it is? When they polled most Americans, Trump did mention polls earlier. When they polled most Americans about the issue of abortion, majority of Americans didn't have an issue with abortion. They didn't. The people that were on the fringes about that were the people that got fear-mongered to when they say, oh, the baby's on the operating table and they're doing it. Let's go. And I'm one of the people, I want to be fair about shit. Let's say that possibly happened. Do you think that's the majority of the time what happened? Or do you think that's the exception of what might have possibly happened? If we're all great thinkers, we're all smart, that's the exception, even if that shit even did happen. Because I'm pretty sure that shit was against the law. But pretty much Trump put something into place. Well, he pushed for something to get into a place by putting those people on Supreme Court that majority of Americans did not want. They're worrying about fucking abortions because the birth rate is going down in the white community. That's why this small group of Americans, especially these Southern Dixiecrats, were damn losing their mind. That the great replacement theory. We got to stop our women from deleting these babies. So we need to get this shit done. And to Brad's point earlier, he said one earlier. He said, how's it Trump's abortion ban if it's up to the states? Laughing out loud. I'm going to go to another comment. Same thing applies to this Tim Walsh shit about tampons in the male's bathroom. The exact same way. So if you can agree with the Tampax shit, you can agree with that other one too. Like, the shit rolls downhill. People are going to do what the hell they want motherfuckers that they're trying to get attention for to do. So it's like, it is what it is. Trump saying that he's actually cool with the 3 exceptions. That's a new thing that I just seen from him. That's something new. He was not on that before. He never said that before. But I'm cool with it either way. It's not an issue for me. I don't have babies. Grace said 23 million black babies deleted as of the 1970s. Yep. Black women on some crazy shit. See, Kenny said, call them European Americans. Yeah, I need to start using that shit, European Americans. Yeah. And then I got Miss Jackson said, Kamala states, you don't have to lose your faith, moral beliefs for the government to make a decision over your body or circumstances. I think she did kind of allude to that. But I think she was trying to say this so the government don't have to. But let's see, Red said he was the governor of that state, though. Yeah, I understand. He was the governor of the state, and I think he actually signed it once they voted on it. But I want people to understand, if you're gonna have that mindset of, well, he signed it, well, we gotta point the blame at a lot of people that we so-called support for a lot of the things that they signed to. Let's just be real. It's got to go full circle. If you go, I forget. Smooth said it earlier, man. I think he said it earlier. Let me see where it is. He said, so it's either all or nothing. So if we gonna go halfway in, throw that shit in the trash. You gonna stand by something and call something else out? Well, guess what? You got to go 10 toes down on everything else. If that's where the buck stops because somebody signed something, then hell to the fuck yes. You got to go all in on everything. Let's keep going though. Hold up, my bad. Let's see. Red said, "I'll support reproductive rights when I have a right to opt out of selected service." Red, you just keep. Red has been. I ain't gonna hold you. Red, I don't know what this selective service thing has got you so triggered because I hear you say that a lot. I'm like, dude, it ain't that bad. The military ain't that bad. It ain't that bad, man. I did it 4 years, man. Get in and get out. But I would have been with you better if you said reproductive rights. If I can opt out, like Grace said earlier, opt out of having to pay for shit. Yeah, if she can delete it, like Dave Spill said, if she can delete it, why can't I abandon it? I think that's fair. I think that would be fair across the board. But we don't live in a fair world. Bray said, yes, he did. He's okay with children becoming transformers. Yes, and I'm okay with people smoking crack. Look, man, people make their own goddamn decisions. Let's keep going.
Well, there she goes again. It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban because we've gotten what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they've wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if it
Well, I won't have to because, again, two things. Number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50 and essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just talk. You know what it reminds me of when they said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended up being a total catastrophe. The student loans, and then I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach. But look, her boss went out and said, we'll do it again. We'll do it a different way. And he went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all these students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea. And how unfair that would have been. Part of the reason they lost to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free. But they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because you're running me.
Yeah, look, he can give a yes or no in a second. Look, and I agree with this last comment that Red said. I do want to hit you with this one, Red. Those type of drones you thinking about are not the type of drones that you're really thinking about, man. These motherfuckers are using little small-ass drones over there, like the size of a remote, man. That's the type of drones. You're not going to get drone struck by one of them little ones you can buy off Walmart.com and shit. That's the ones they're using over in the wars, not the big one that you think about that Obama was using. They don't got those like that. But he also said America is the only place where this issue is even a topic. And you are 100% correct because honestly, they're talking about shit that the average American citizen don't give a fuck about. We don't care. We have more important things to be focused on, but y'all want to sit over here about somebody having an abortion. And I forget what the other shit they were talking about. And now he's talking about student loans. Some kids that got a stupid ass loan. That's on them and their parents for them not doing it. That's on them. Like, damn. We got bigger issues. People want to actually get like their food prices down. They want to figure out why the fuck we can't afford homes. People need raises out here. We need more unions in this country. All these corporations consolidating and monopolizing all the power in the country so they own everything. We can't own shit. That's what we need to be focusing on. Not some bitch getting an abortion and not some goddamn student getting their fucking goddamn student loans fucking taken away. Don't go for a goddamn art degree, motherfucker. Ain't nobody paying for that shit nowadays. And see, Smooth said Trump is great at dodging yes or no questions. Hey, look, I ain't even gonna hold him. It ain't just him. All these motherfuckers get at that shit. But yeah, he do it a lot. It's very noticeable. Red said laugh my ass off. And he also said, I don't think they gave Harris a single yes or no. I think they did. But they're never going to answer a yes or no. They're going to go on a little fucking diatribe. Like Grace said earlier, word salads. Let's keep going.
JD Vance has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with JD. In all fairness, JD, and I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look, we don't have to discuss it because she'd never be able to get it, just like she couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it doesn't matter what she says about going to Congress. So wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years, they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I want to give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion bans. Couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our country? Working people, working women who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers, to go and get the health care she needs, barely can afford to do it. And what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people.
Hey, Kamala, I got something for you real quick.
But check your tone, girl. Keep your inside voice on. So push your ass outside.
Who gives a fuck if somebody got to get on a plane and sit next to a stranger that they don't know? Bitch, people fly planes. I don't think women are saying that shit when they get in these fucking Ubers and these ride shares. Like, come on now. Now Red, I'll say she trying to play the little feminine card and shit like that sympathy bullshit. Nobody cares about that. If she really cared, if it was really so bad for her, she would not have laid down and had unprotected sex. But she is right. Ain't nobody having no dang abortions in the 9th trimester, whatever the fuck that shit's called. They're not doing that. I swear, each side of this politics do this boogeyman shit like this is happening. This is happening. Trump, the people are coming across the border and they're doing all this crime. We got the data that shows these people commit less crimes, but they do highlight when people do bad shit. Just like in the black community, you would think majority of black dudes got felonies and shit because all they do is try to highlight shit like that on the news. It's not the case. It's not the case. But don't nobody care, Kamala. Don't nobody care about that shit. If she wanted to lay down and get that baby gravy, she can hop her ass on the plane. If she got to, if she stay in a state like mine, and go get the thing done if that's what she want to do. I don't think she should be doing it, but guess what? Do you, boo? Do you, boo? Do you? You see, Smooth said, I thought Kamala and Biden made the economy better, so these women should be able to travel, right? Yeah, they should, shouldn't they, right? The economy is doing better, but wages ain't went up. It's actually doing a lot better since COVID, but wages ain't went up, and that's one of the bigger problems. Wages ain't went up, and inflation is still higher than what it needs to be. Red said, I like how he doesn't look at her. I think he's about like this look right here look like he's about to go to sleep, but he ain't sleeping. I don't think he's sleeping today. Let's keep going.
People of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact, when they got a very negative decision on IVF from the Alabama courts, I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you answer that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question,
you
would you veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said, we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
President Trump, thank you.
We're going to turn now to immigration and border security. We know it's an issue that's important to Republicans, Democrats, voters across the board in this country. Vice President Harris, you were tasked by President Biden with getting to the root causes of migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the
That is a very good look, man. We can talk shit about her and Trump. We got to get a reporter some props. That's a good question. Like, hey, man, we had some record immigration coming up in here. Record people coming across. Now, I give you props. Biden did put in some tougher restrictions, but why the hell did it take 3 years and some change for him to do it? What was the administration talking about? What were they thinking? Why? Let's see how she answers it. It's a great question.
The only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime, trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank
All right, baby girl, you didn't answer the question. And in your way of trying to not answer the question, you kind of told on Joe Biden. You kind of told on him. You said Donald Trump wanted to keep that an issue because he did have the opportunity to get more security down there at the border, and we could try to fix this problem. He turned it down because he did want to use that in the election. They wanted money for Ukraine. The Democrats wanted money for Ukraine, and he wanted the border. But he wasn't willing to give them money for Ukraine because he wanted to run on that issue. Well, guess what, boo-boo? Joe Biden's kind of doing the exact same thing with the issue that the guy just raised to you. Why did it take so long for him to even do any more restrictions? Technically, we're coming up on the election in November, y'all. So that's still an issue. People don't know about that shit that he just did. Most people don't give a fuck really about politics and the policies that y'all are pushing. Well, you keeping, come on, get up here, man. Get up there, girl. Coming down here, man. Trying to get all up on me like that, man. Can't keep him off me, y'all. But Kamala, you can't criticize him for something that your boss is actually doing right now. I just don't get that one. But that crowd size shit, yeah, I can tell you, I can see, I know that look. I know that look in Trump anytime. He about to be mad about him saying something about his crowd sizes. I can just guarantee it. I bet money is about to happen. He don't like that shit. See, Red said when she insults his rally, he snaps. Watch the difference in his energy. Okay, so he is. I didn't watch this. He looked like he looked like he mad about that. He looked like he mad about that. So look, we're going to see. Smooth says, so someone that is not the president has more influence on lawmaking than the president and VP. Supposedly, that seems to be the logic around here tonight, right? We're blaming people that, I guess so, man. Whatever. Let's see. Let's see. Is Trump mad?
Thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border?
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there.
Again! Knew it! I knew he was mad about that shit. Let me keep going. I'm sorry, y'all.
And showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
television. But the people on television say the
manager.
Dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
Talk about it.
They eating the dogs and cats, y'all. Look, I just can't. And look, I'm being dead serious, y'all. This is one of the reasons I have a big problem with the people on the right, because they do this very well. This fear-mongering shit right here is just ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Like, look, have some people ate a dog or a cat before? Hell yeah. I've been to Korea. Shit actually don't taste that bad. I'm not advocating for it, y'all. It doesn't taste that bad. But nah, man, come on with the fear-mongering. They're eating people's y'all. Like, come on, Trump, man. Look, until you got some real evidence to show that, like, please don't be saying. See, and it's gonna be these old ass retirees that are just gonna lose their mind, knowing they stay in like North Dakota and ain't no goddamn immigrants up there, but they're gonna lose their mind and they're gonna, man, look, come on now. This shit ain't it. Let's see, Red said not true. There are police reports and charges about it now in Springfield. Okay, and then Red said hide your kids, hide your cats. Don't touch my kitty. Don't touch my kitty, y'all. I don't think. Once again, I don't think that's a big issue that people are worried about right there. Hey, let's say it is happening. I don't think people really care about that. I'm just saying. How they get your cat anyways? Let's see. Miss Jackson said Trump made a racist comment. He talking about the black folks, minorities. Hey, look, I don't even want to get him on that one, but I'm pretty sure he'll slip up and say something a little bit more, crazy in a little bit. But let's see how she want to respond. She should, man. She got enough money, man. She need to go get Botox on her neck, man. That shit is loose. That shit loose is a. Let's keep going.
That extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formally worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a 4-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former secretary of defense has said...
I ain't smooth. I ain't gonna hold you. They both got pussies on their neck. Oh, no, what am I saying? They both got pussies on their necks.
What? Damn.
That shit is bad. Say Dick Cheney and Bush, that's not a flex, honey. I think she's talking about how they criticize them. But let's keep going. Let's see.
Said the nation, the republic, would never survive another Trump term. And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond.
Yeah, thank you. Because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people who's were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper. He was no good. I fired him. So he writes a book. Another one writes a book. Because with me, they can write books. With nobody else can they. But they have done such a poor job. And they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any sitting president in history by far.
Hey, Trump. I'm be honest with you. I just want, I know you're not gonna listen to my advice when I tell you this, but I truly want you to internalize this, put it deep inside your heart, and try to get to this point. This is what you need to do when it comes to all that. You keep talking about you got the most votes, but guess what? You got the most votes for your party, but guess what? You got less than the person that beat you, dude. Like, come on, let it go, bro. You had these people storming the Capitol over that shit. Let's keep going.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier. So let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no problem using the U.S. military.
Police, yes.
You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah, it is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers, to come into our country. And they're now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down? You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world. Crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know.
All right, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I got Miss Jackson up in the building. What's going on, Miss Jackson? Hold up, you're on mute right now. Hold up. There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, hey there. I'm glad to join once again. I watched the debate last night. It was real interesting. So y'all go ahead, do your thing. I know you're watching it now, so I want you to see the rest of it.
Hey, don't spoil nothing for me. I wanna laugh a little bit because this shit's funny.
It's much funnier. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
We got Red up in the building. So Red, any thoughts so far before I keep going back to it?
No, this kind of had a shaky start. Trump started out really shaky. Kamala's never really won a debate or a primary, so she's obviously a little nervous. But after she insulted his rallies, a switch flip, and he's in 2016 mode right here.
Man, I swear I haven't watched this shit, y'all, but I'm like, you can call that. I saw his face, bro. His face got like, bitch, what my rallies? I'm like, this dude, he don't like when they talk about their rallies, man.
This is bread and butter. His bread and butter is rallies and debates. That's really how we won the first time.
Hey, I swear this shit's fucking hilarious. But look, y'all, we gonna jump back into it. I sped it up because we might not end up getting to the very end of it, but I want to try to get through as much as possible. So hold thoughts for a little bit. But we're gonna try to rock this shit out, man. This is so one of these motherfuckers gonna be our next president, and I'm not happy about that. But let's keep going.
The FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. But frankly, the American people are exhausted with this same old tired playbook.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Excuse me. Every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. And you saw that with the decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those are cases, it's called weaponization. Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice Department. Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA in New York. Every one of those cases. And then they say, oh, he's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. And what happened in my documents case? They said, oh, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
President Trump, thank you.
I gotta, man, let's see. I gotta call them both out when they on some bullshit. Trump, you on some bullshit, dude. You trying to say that they target you about the secret documents, dude? They called you and asked you for them goddamn documents multiple times. Please, sir, send us these documents. You sent some documents back, then you hid some other ones. You told your fucking lawyer to hide them. Walton Nada was hiding them motherfuckers while they were down there busting in your door trying to get the shit. It's different than what Joe did. Joe had documents too. Guess what? When he found out, sent them back. A lot of presidents had documents. I think even Bush ended up sending some documents back once all this shit popped off. You tried to hide it. They came and fucked with you. Like, stop the cap. It's all documented, dude. And the only reason you got out of that case is because you appointed that bitch to be the judge. They admonished her ass too many times about fucking trying to. I don't even want to go down that road. Trump lying. He lying about that one. I just don't. I don't know why he keeps telling that lie. Anybody can Google that shit and find out what the fuck happened in that case. You can look at the lawyer. You can look at the whole process. They didn't just come after you for no goddamn reason. They asked you for the shit back, and you just kept fucking with them. Like, you gonna do whatever the fuck you. Well, that's kind of what Trump does. He just do whatever the fuck he want to do, and then when he get in trouble, he's like, "Oh, they're targeting me." Like, nah, bro. Nah.
No, I think there is some element of truth to it, and I will agree he was being a dick about it. But there is obviously a deep state that picks and chooses who they go after. JFK, for example.
Look, I ain't gonna look. Red, you see my color. You see the skin I got on, right? I know about the federal government. Black people been saying this shit since we've been in this country, that the federal government will go after you. We 100% agree with that shit. But to hear him say that shit, that motherfucker, you look like the motherfucker that was coming at the motherfuckers. Like, I'm just saying, I know you ain't personally doing it, but you are, nah, man, I don't want to hear about no rich billionaire complaining about nothing. That's the craziest shit that get me in America. Everybody be getting behind. They're doing them shit. That bitch is a billionaire. If any of us would have committed any of these crimes he was charged with, we'd be in jail. He ain't even in jail.
Even if he loses, I don't think any of these charges will stick. And if he didn't run a second time, I don't even think he'd have any of them.
Hey, you know something funny? He does have a felony, right? He had a couple of them, right? Right?
I guess, yeah.
Bet money he gonna vote for himself. I bet you money.
I'm sure he'll try.
This shit gonna be funny as fuck. But I'm sorry, y'all. Keep going. Miss Jackson, did you have anything for before we keep going? You on mute? Hold up. Say something.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that he have any felonies? 34.
34. Okay, 34 of them bitches. That's a lot. But
yep.
I bet money we will see a video of him going in and voting, or maybe he'll do mail in. He'll probably do mail in. I see that most presidents vote mail in. But that'll be
a good promotional video. He goes into the voting booth and he's like, "What? This is all rigged."
For myself, motherfucker. Like, what? I gotta admit, it's crazy.
Really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of the Justice Department.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people
Vice
to
President
stop
Harris.
him.
Thank you. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't.
Pretty
You wanted
solid
mandatory
response.
government buyback programs for assault weapons.
Come again.
I said that was a pretty solid response, honestly.
I didn't like it, man, because it was like, he's not the one doing this. They're the ones doing it. It kind of sounded childish to me.
Of course, well, I mean, yeah, and that's why I said it was a good response, because Kamala's answer, like, he didn't even address the weaponization.
Yeah. I wouldn't address it if I was her either, to be honest with you. Because you have got too many people that's already cuckoo out their brains. They don't like, a lot of people think the government is just magically starting to do things and maybe they're going after him. Man, these motherfuckers been doing this shit since the inception, man. They was tapping Martin Luther King's phone, calling
Absolutely.
him.
It's not old at all. Yeah, this has been happening since 50s
cool.
at least.
Look, the problem is it's cool when they do it to certain people. It's a problem when they do it to him. And I'm like, we all know this government's fucked up. They're very possible. There's not a doubt in my mind that, hell yeah, he got some people in that motherfucker that got a vendetta against his bitch ass. He ran his mouth a lot. I wouldn't be surprised, but like, dude, we supposed to, what you want me to get a fucking violin off your ass? I can't do that, because when other people that look like me and open their mouth and said something about that shit for years, decades, people tell us to just shut the fuck up and don't break the law. I'm like,
I feel you, but I don't think he's trying to garner sympathy here. I think he's trying to put himself in between that system and the people.
He's trying to justify himself to say that he didn't do anything wrong. Oh, Jackson, you're on mute. Gotcha. What you were saying?
Well, Kamala brought out how he's trying to terminate the constitutional, you know what I'm saying, the Constitution. That's that Project 2025. So I just think Trump had a bad game plan, and Kamala went in there and executed on hers.
What did he want to terminate about it?
That's the Project 2025 agenda.
Okay.
Basically designing a dictatorship.
I ain't gonna hold you, Red. Like, I know you said you don't believe he got nothing to do with it. I think he do, man. I don't trust nothing that comes out of his motherfucking mouth.
You're right.
Some of the things about it that, I mean, he was right when he said there is some good, some really bad in it. However, it's a Heritage Foundation psyop. Like, we knew that since 2019 when it started coming out.
But who are they a big donor to?
Well, the Republican Party. It's a Republican think tank. It's like the right wing TED Talk.
Yeah, it's like, we hear a lot about George Soros being a big funder of a lot of Democrats and shit, and people go after him. Project 2025 is pretty much 27 of 32 people that wrote that shit worked for him in his White House.
Yeah, and guess what? A lot of them got fired though. So the relationship is obviously, pretty estranged.
Hey, look, it ain't really, because think about it. Ted Cruz got caught. He got his daddy called.
It's like this, and Death Note said this last time. If he went and started Project 2026, does that mean I can tie you to 2026 because a former person that worked with you now wrote 2026?
Well, remember earlier, we were getting a lot of that shit tied together with other people and other things they did earlier. That was one of the topics. Like, yeah.
And I agree with you. There is people on the right, like the equivalent of like George Soros would be Peter Thiel. But he's not even fucking with Heritage right now.
Murdochs and all them motherfuckers. But look, either way, the motherfucker, even with him saying, because first off, what gets me is when he said he hasn't read it. But there might be some good things and there might be some bad things in it.
I believe him. I don't think he has time for that shit. It's like 2,000 pages.
Look, that man know about Project 2025. he knows about it. He might not know very specifics about it, but even with some of the policies that he's even said or things that he said he wants to do, that's right out of Project 2025, word for like verbatim.
And his administration got fired behind a different demise.
So it's honestly a lot of it's just a more extremist version of his 2016 policies.
Ray said Project 2025 was SO the 2024 established in 2022.
No, that's not true. Okay, so it was formally established in 2022, but they were, trust me, they were sending out emails to young people in political debates. I was one of them, and they were trying to recruit young, politically interested right-wing people into this thing since 2019.
My boy Bean said they're watching you. They are watching me. Look, they are watching me. I'm actually on a lot of those email lists for a lot of right wing shit. I get it all the time. I bought a fucking outdoor camera one time from a right wing company. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah. It's like you buy a fishing rod and you get an email. Don't let them take your guns away.
Dude, I'm on the email list and I read that shit and I'm like, look at this fucking fear mongering. I'm like, and I could just see some old person that's in their 70s and they're getting that email and they reading it and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, getting radicalized.
Yeah,
well, I'm just glad I'm not in those Kamala Harris text chains because I know some people and they cannot get them to stop texting them.
Oh, they ain't gonna never stop. Look, you have to unsubscribe and then magically realize that you clicked unsubscribe, but you didn't unsubscribe because you ain't got 30 more emails. You got to unsubscribe again.
What the DNC is doing is they're texting everybody, and then once you say stop in capital letters, they'll just switch to a new number.
There you go. Look, I've been saying this for a long time. This is why I have an issue with a lot of these big companies. We need to actually take back our rights when it comes to certain issues. Why the fuck why are we okay with getting a phone with these phone companies? Get a phone with these phone companies. And the first thing they fucking do is sell our phone numbers to all these different companies and they robocall us.
In every company, every app you download, they get all the same data too and sell it with each other.
Yeah, and I know how some people that's on that side will say, well, you did sign the agreement, bitch. I need to use the product. I shouldn't have to give up my privacy.
Good luck like living in the modern world without any access to the internet ever. You basically need one to get an ID now.
Well, later on in the debate, Kamala, she touches on that too.
Yeah, but when they go and say like voting, I'll explain it to you. So I was on a debate team in high school, and it wasn't about politics. They were interested.
Shout out to the debate team.
Yeah, but the most political we got was like global warming and stuff.
In high school, we really didn't talk about politics. Most young people don't really care about politics. If they are into politics, I will say this: they getting that shit from their family.
Dude, I wish that was true, man. What are you, a 90s baby? 80s baby?
80s.
So it's a lot different now, bro. Teachers,
y'all generation crazy, man.
But what I'm saying is our school teachers all have political opinions and they give them to us.
I can believe it. I wouldn't doubt it for 1 minute. But see, we gonna keep going in this thing right here. Hey, Miss Jackson, you have an echo. You got some headphones? Like some earbuds you can put in?
Yep, no, just my regular speaker.
No, I'm saying, do you have some?
No, because my phone is I got a Google Pixel, so I can't even play some in there.
Yeah, you in the dongle game. You see, and they took the headphone jack away, y'all. That's fucking stupid.
Just try like lowering the volume and
all right.
Mute yourself when you're not talking.
Yeah, it's just a little feedback. But yeah, man, that's another one, y'all. We need to snap on them about that one, man. Look, how you gonna take first off, you don't get a charger in the box, you get a cord, and you don't get a headphone jack, but the price of the phone is $1,000 now. That makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, well, you buying iPhones, dude. iPhones are trash.
Hey, see, I don't buy them bitches, man. I got this Samsung right here. It's got a headphone jack at the bottom. You can get that shit for $100 at Walmart, man. Look, I don't need all that shit, bro.
But that's the recommended charger.
Yeah. And we already seen what happened to Apple when they tried to sell them phones over in the UK, and now them motherfuckers on Type C after they try to keep everybody on Lightning forever. But I never have an iPhone anyways. And see, I'm just saying, I've said Red actually being nice tonight. He must have popped a pill.
No, well, you know what? We haven't had a serious presidential debate since like Kennedy versus Nixon in the Nixon days when they actually made him sit down and talk and answer questions. So this is just entertainment for me.
This is entertainment. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get back to this entertainment because this shit is pretty funny to me. So far, at least the part when the rally shit came out, but that was funny.
Weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values have not changed. So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking. My position is that we have got to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil. We have had the largest increase in domestic oil production in history because of an approach that recognizes that we cannot over-rely on foreign oil. As it relates to my values, let me tell you, I grew up a middle-class kid raised by a hardworking mother who worked and saved and was able to buy our first home when I was a teenager. The values I bring to the importance of home ownership, knowing not everybody got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, is a value that I bring to my work to say we are going to work with the private sector. And
I ain't gonna lie. Hold up, y'all. Hold up real quick. Hold up. Where's that? Right here. I gotta give it to her. That was pretty good. She slid that in.
Well, yeah. But going bankrupt, like when you're making big moves like that, it's actually kind of a strategy. Like obviously, if you and I go bankrupt, it means like our life is over. But if you have all these assets and money moving around in different pools, it's a strategy. I mean, 50 Cent did it.
Yeah, 50 Cent. But see, I don't try to. Me personally, I understand exactly what you're saying. But as an average guy, as an average citizen, I can't get behind that shit, man. Like, dude, you going bankrupt? That's a negative connotation to go bankrupt.
Yeah, it is.
It's like shit, but I'm just glad she slid that shit in there. But hey, look, whatever. Let me see. Let me read his last comment. Keep going. See, Op said, "Here she go again, lying about being anything."
Yeah, I caught that.
Grow up. It's the Smooth said, "I gotta go. Y'all have a good night, man. Appreciate you coming through,
Peace.
Smooth." See, let's keep rocking.
I think this triggered him too, like the rally comment when you talked about his bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, you see his face. Look at his face. You want to see my face? Look at his face.
He looks like Pepe the Frog.
Yeah.
Builders to increase by 3 million homes by the end of my first term. My work that is related to having a friend when I was in high school who was sexually assaulted by her stepfather. And my focus then on protecting women and children from violent crime is based on a value that is deeply grounded in the importance of standing up for those who are most vulnerable. My work that is about protecting Social Security and Medicare is based on long-standing work that I have done, protecting seniors from scams. My values
what about Joe Biden?
have not changed. And what is important is that there is a president who actually brings values and a perspective that is about lifting people up and not beating people down. And name calling. The true measure of the leader is the leader who actually understands the strength is not in beating people down, it's in lifting people up. I intend to be that president.
President Trump, your
Well, first of all, I
response?
wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens, and a great father, and I learned a lot from him. But I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many billions of dollars, many, many billions. And when people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very.
Hold on, is she against defund the police? I'm sorry, keep going. I know
Yeah,
what you meant to say.
Yeah,
I
he
know what you meant
misspoke a little bit.
Yeah.
Wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now. You don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one. Just to finish, one thing so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher, because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. They got it up to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling and doubling. You saw what happened to gasoline. So they said, let's go back to Trump. But if she won the election, the day after that election, they'll go back to destroying our country, and oil will be dead. Fossil fuel will be dead. We'll go back to windmills, and we'll go back to solar, where they need a whole desert to get some energy to come out. You ever see a solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar, but they take 400, 500 acres of desert
President
soil.
Trump, we have a
These
lot
are
of
not good
issues
things
that we
for the
have to get to.
environment that
We're
she
out of time.
understands.
Thank you.
Lindsay, thank
He lost me at the last part, but
I told you, bro, that bankruptcy, it got him. We're seeing little tiny like bits of like evolution, like going back to 2016 Trump. He's trying to keep his cool, because if you notice in the Joe Biden debate, he was a lot more laid back than he usually is in debates. But she's getting under his skin, and he's reverting back to his old ways.
I do want to say this for everybody, because he keeps talking about oil production and things of that sort. Red, did you ever get the chance to go back and watch the video I told y'all that we covered, where we went through a lot of the economic things like housing, food, jobs, all of that shit? Did you end up watching that live stream?
I mean, I probably caught it.
All right. Oil production is at an all-time high. We've never produced as much oil as we ever have in this country. They're doing that right now. Well, Joe's doing it right now. I'm not even gonna get into
total oil.
Yeah.
Okay,
we actually have a positive. We're actually producing more than we're importing.
That's because we're not importing crap, and we've been depleting the national reserves that Trump built up.
Well, look, the national reserves were the oil that everybody was mad that he started touching. Well, they're touching it again. Remember when we had that big old?
Oh no, they're. I mean, it's damn near empty now. They emptied it for COVID.
It ain't empty, man. We have more oil in America than they do in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, it's been built back. I see what you're saying, but like day one, Joe Biden canceled Keystone Pipeline, and that would have dropped gas prices. I mean, oil coming straight from Alaska to the United States, and Joe Biden shut it down on day one.
Well, she really capitalized, man. She capitalized Medicare, Medicaid, cutting off Social Security. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the Project 2025 agenda. And so she addressed those issues as well.
That Social Security, they need to stop it. Like, the Republicans do want to cancel Social Security.
You're right. I don't think Trump does, though. I think Trump is actually before.
I think he'll do whatever the fuck. I don't think Trump that smart, to be honest with you. And then
but I think he understands his voting base, and like he's not like let's keep it a buck. A lot of Trump voters are old ass motherfuckers. I don't think he's touching Social Security.
They'll be surprised.
Right.
They'll be surprised that they like. Because the sad part is there's a good way to save Social Security if they truly wanted to save it. All they got to do is just take a little bit, maybe 10 of those hundreds of trillions of dollars we put into the military or in the Lockheed Martin and Boeing and that
or given to Ukraine.
Yeah, that too, or what we giving to Israel and all that shit, all the money that we spend in all these other different countries overseas. And we just take maybe like 10 trillion of that and put it back into Social Security, because the sad part is the same people that want to get their Social Security are the same people that y'all took the money from to put it into Social Security.
I mean, it's going broke. It's inevitable. It's going to go broke. I think it was a mistake to begin with.
No, I don't think it was a mistake, and I don't the only reason it's going broke is because we're taking more. Our priorities have shifted. That was one of the biggest things in the video that I was telling you about. Our priorities as a country have gotten fucked up.
I don't think the priorities of the people, I don't think have changed that much. It's the priorities of the people who are saying, hey, we got this constant flow of money called Social Security. We'll just use that.
Well, look, it's not even just the constant money of Social Security. It's just our tax dollars. Certain things are supposed to be allocated to certain programs, but we've
Yeah.
gotten into the point of look. The first off, the federal government sucks. The government sucks at managing money. Any company, any person that had the track record of the federal government and the way they manage money would never be allowed to even get a fucking loan
Yeah,
from
like
anybody.
I think September 10th, 2001, like 2 trillion went missing from the Pentagon.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are terrible.
$2 trillion. If I lost $2, I'd be pissed off.
No, I'll be upset.
Social Security is not a grant. Is what you invest in. What you put in is what you get out. Some people put their whole life savings in it. You know, when they retire out and get elderly, they live off their Social Security.
Yeah, but I just think it's a mistake because I don't like the idea of it. Like the idea that the government's going to save your money for you, like you're a baby, and here's your old people money. But we operated before perfectly fine.
Well, that's the problem with it. Technically, they're not saving our money for us. They're using that like, here you go, you got Social Security. When y'all get older, you'll have something to fall back on if you don't have the retirement.
Yeah, the idea is that it's an investment, but it's not a return investment.
Hey, guess what? It's an investment that you didn't even sign up for. They just took your fucking money. They use the Social Security as a guise, like we're gonna do something for you with your money.
Right.
But technically, they were just taking your money and spending it elsewhere.
So when you get so when you get older and you retire, you can't work. Then what will you live off of?
But you see, here's the thing: when I got my first check at 16, and I saw the gross pay and the net pay, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And someone was like, oh, well, so when you're old, you can get money from the government. I'm like, dude, this country's falling apart. I really don't think I'm going to see that money.
Well, look, I'd rather have it be there and them not take it and spend it on some other dumb shit. Because I believe anybody because a lot of these laws and a lot of these rules that we have in this country, majority of us, matter of fact, none of us signed up for it.
Of course. And so when I see my tax dollars for my 16-year-old paycheck when I was 16 go into like
Medicaid, Medicare,
drone missiles for Israel, Lockheed Martin bombs. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'd rather just have all the money myself and save it myself.
Well, here, check it. This one thing I can say. For all the money that they've taken from people, including you since 16, me since whenever I started working, just like Miss Jackson, everybody else that's watching, write me a check and give it to me. And you can get rid of Social Security then. But they ain't going to do that. That's going to be the problem. Because technically, there's
a lot of people who would rather like living on Social Security right now. There's a lot of people who are honestly just kind of like leeching off the system. And they know they ain't doing nothing with the money. So they want these constant government handouts. And that's who votes for those politics.
Well, think about it. Social Security is not a government handout. It's your money. That's the fuck. I think that's the part that Miss Jackson gets. Right. That's your money. So how the hell are you going to take my money?
Technically, all of the handouts are our money.
Everything's our money. So that's why I don't even consider them handouts. But think about how fucked up it'll be. Like you said, a lot of the people that are going to be voting on the conservative side are older people. They might be 70, they might be 80 years old. A lot of them around the 60s and 50s. Think about working majority of your life. They taking this money out the entire time. And when you get old and you need to be able to pay this light bill, be able to pay your rent if you still got rent, or pay your mortgage, or even just your property tax. And you've been putting into this your entire life, and they tell you, we ain't got no money.
That's like if I saved up all my money, I worked my ass off as a teenager to be able to afford college, and then they cancel student loans, so it was all for nothing.
No, if they cancel student loans, look, you did your shit the right way. It's like I wouldn't think about it that way. You did what you were supposed to do. You planned ahead. We got other people that don't plan ahead, but this is not even the same thing. They're taking this shit from you, not you saving money to the side. They're taking it every fucking paycheck. Every time I get paid, I'm paying probably like $200 something in the Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. Every fucking paycheck. And I get paid every week.
And the real secret is we're not, as a country, and no, it's not just white people, it's as a country, we're not making enough babies to be able to put into the system of Social Security, which is why they got to import all these people.
We talked about the abortion shit earlier. But look, we're getting sidetracked. I'm going to keep playing a little bit. And
It actually don't last that long. It is actually not much longer. Maybe a good 15 more minutes.
Yeah, it's not. It's
All right.
definitely not an hour and 49.
All right, I got you.
Thank you. We have an election in just 56 days. And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our democracy, and the role of a president in a moment of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message telling your supporters to go home. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
You just said a thing that isn't covered. Peacefully and patriotically, I said during my speech, not later on. Peacefully and patriotically. And nobody on the other side was killed. Ashley Babbitt was shot by an out-of-control police officer that should have never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. But we didn't do this group of people that have been treated so badly. I ask, what about all the people that are pouring into our country and killing people that she allowed to pour in? She was the border czar. Remember that. She was the border czar. She doesn't want to be called the border czar because she's embarrassed by the border. In fact, she said at the beginning, oh, I'm surprised you're not talking about the border yet. That's because she knows what a bad job they've done. What about those people? When are they going to be prosecuted? When are these people from countries all over the world, not just South America? They're coming in from all over the world, David, all over the world. And crime rates are down all over the world because of it. But when are those, David, when are those people going to be prosecuted? When are the people that burned down Minneapolis going to be prosecuted? Or in Seattle? They went into Seattle. They took over a big percentage of the city of Seattle. When are those people going to be prosecuted?
But let me just ask
you. You might ask her that question.
You were the president.
Hey, real quick, Bean, I need you to do one thing for me. One thing.
Show us your face. We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face?
Show me your face in the back real quick, and then I'll let you up. Fucking you ain't gotta be on camera while you up here on here, but just show me your face in the back real quick, like if I bring you up. Trump keeps calling her the border czar, and a lot of Republicans keep doing that too. She was not the border czar, and we actually covered what her priorities was when she got assigned to the border. Her job was not actually to go down to the actual fucking border.
She was assigned to the border.
Yeah,
The border czar isn't even that's a Russian monarch word.
It's not even a real term.
It's like lingo. It's like slang.
Right. Hold up real quick, Red. Hey, Bean, you ain't got to be on camera when I'm about to bring you up. You ain't got to be on camera if you want to. I just want to see you in the back because we got people that come up here and like to pull their penis out and shit like that. But I'm get you up in the game,
including Jay.
Don't be talking about that.
If you get him drunk enough, I can tell y'all some shit about Jay. I went to school with him.
Don't you say a motherfucking thing.
No, I can tell you some shit about him now.
I'm a goddamn rebel.
Man.
Give me your thoughts real quick.
Oh man, I think we're fucked regardless. Either way, on both sides, man. One way is gonna be a witch hunt. He's gonna spend most of the election chasing people. And then the other one's going to be just a giveaway, all out, everybody's going to get, everybody that's not here already is going to get basically a handout. So
I need a handout, to be honest with you.
Well, it's like the thing,
we ain't getting one. It's the Venezuelans.
Well, more than that, man. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I support anybody that can pull their own bootstraps up, because I had to do it. But what I'm getting at is this, is when you come here and somebody's giving you a stipend for $10,000 a month, that don't sit right with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got veterans out there. I pass them all the time, man, going to doctor's appointments and stuff. Out there in wheelchairs, begging for food and stuff like that, man. Like, if you can give somebody $10,000, I mean, I get everybody need help, but they got programs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's better ways to give money out. It's like I see them right now. It's like 10 of them in a house, and they got like boats and RVs and campers, and only the kids speak English. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and you can't blame them because, I mean, if you lived in one of those countries, you come here too.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but
it's like if someone shoots you with a gun, you don't blame the bullets.
Nah, but what I'm getting at is this: like, if they can get a handout, why can't everybody else? Why can't you help the people that's already struggling here before you go out and help somebody else? That's what I'm getting at. And I really don't.
It gets a little extreme when you see, you know, these people who don't speak English walking into 5-star hotels in New York, and they're walking over homeless veterans.
Yeah,
I think the
make
point.
sense to me.
Yeah, I think the point that both of y'all are getting at is a point that I think all Americans can get behind. Before you give one fucking penny to anybody else that's not from here or that's over here illegally, you need to give that shit to Americans. And preferably, Red, I know you might disagree, black people first. Because we need them reparations.
Any Americans at this point.
But here you go. The point that gets me, especially if I hear like somebody on the right speaking against that, hey Jackson, I'm gonna mute you real quick because I still get that background. But the part that really gets me when I hear my conservatives actually saying that shit too, or anybody that's on the right. Black people have been arguing for reparations for a long time in this country, and it's always going to be, where are we going to get the money from? Now we want all Americans, including black people, to get behind, yeah, we don't need to be giving these people shit. And I'm like, bitch, we've been trying to get something for a long time, and we actually got a claim to actually get something from this country. But I think we all would agree, like, no, you shouldn't be giving motherfuckers nothing. Even people that come legally to the United States through the whole immigration process, they get access to easier loans that Americans can't even get. That's not cool. But guess what? The people that we keep putting in these offices, these motherfuckers, the people in the House and the Senate, motherfuckers in our state and local government, they're the ones doing this. Know why? Because in the grand scheme of things, I really want people to understand this. They don't give a fuck about none of us. They don't. And people think that this fucker right here is going to go in there and change their life. Some people think that bitch is going to go in there and do something for them. They ain't finna do a goddamn thing for you. It's status quo as usual, buddy. Only thing that was different about Trump was his rhetoric. Status quo was the same. Ain't nothing really changed.
Hypothetically, if one of the candidates is going to at least curb the immigration problem and the other one has demonstrably not done that, I think the choice is obvious if you're passionate about that issue.
Great question. I do want to ask this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is immigration to you?
I don't think that's a good scale. Like on a list of things.
Okay,
I don't know,
a list of 1 through 10. How important on the list is it to you? Like, is it the first priority, second priority, so on and so forth?
It's 4 or 5.
4 or 5. So round the middle. Would you say that
a lot of things like the economy, inflation, a lot of these government programs, it's tied to all those things.
All right, well, here, go check this. Would you say your wages for working is more important to you?
Hell yeah.
Would you say would you say your ability to get a loan to buy a home is more important to you?
Yeah. And all of that is tied to the immigration problem.
Would you say your matter of fact, I already did that. Don't nobody really care about infrastructure. We always talk about it, but nobody really care about that. So pretty much we got housing, we got pay, food prices. Would that be important to you?
Well, it's all, I think my list, it's like number 1, inflation. And that includes food prices, all that. Number 2, housing. And number 3, World War III, because I'm not 25, so I can still be drafted.
Red, stop with that shit, man. You're not going to war.
I don't know. So. If World War III breaks out, man, you'll probably get drafted all the way up to 60.
And I'm single. I'm not in college. Really, like they'll pick me up, bro.
Hey Jay,
what's up?
Hey Jay, I hope I'm not echoing, but I had to jump in on this. Hey Red, your man is up for that, inciting that World War III, man. That was pretty much his speech for the night.
Well, he said he'll end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He's also wanting a peace negotiation with Hamas and Israel. And if you saw, he actually communicated with the Taliban and organized a deal before the next administration failed miserably. The only war that Trump seems to be provoking is that with Iran. And Iran, I mean, with all their proxies, it's not that big of a deal. I'm more worried about Russia and China.
Plus inciting World War III if he doesn't make the next president. He makes a statement himself.
And he did say it a little bit earlier. Saying if you elect her, she's going to start World War III. He said that like
she will.
Oh, he's just getting started.
I think she will.
You think she'll start World? How would she do that?
By continuing to fund, I think she would take additional measures in funding Ukraine's internal attack on Russia, and she would also take additional measures of provoking Iran via Israel in the seas.
I don't think so, but neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. I don't believe that to be true, but look.
That's what the State Department. That's what the State Department wants to do, and they're all behind her. The intelligence agencies hate Trump.
Look, we got a lot of fear mongers around here. We got a lot of war hawks that want to start bullshit all the time. But
you mean like George Bush and Dick Cheney, who endorsed Kamala?
Hey, look, maybe so. Look, I don't like either one of these
you know
motherfuckers.
Who owns Halliburton, right?
Go on, tell him. Or tell me, or whoever you was trying to tell him.
Anybody. You know who owns Halliburton?
The same guy who killed his friend in the woods with a shotgun.
Exactly. So these guys kicked the war off, and then he had his buddy fund the equipment for the war, I should say. For the first time.
The world, I'm be honest. I'm be honest. And I'm just speaking from me being in the military. There ain't gonna be no World War III. No time soon. We don't need to fearmonger fellow Americans thinking that a World War III is about to pop off. It's not about to happen. It's not. It's not.
Well, keep it a buck, dude. It's a lot more likely right now than it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Why? It hasn't been like this since the Cold War.
Why do you think it's more likely now?
NATO is pushing up on Russia's border right now, and Iran is being provoked from all sides. And those two countries are not going down without a fight.
Well, I'll tell you this. Russia ain't got the military that it thought it had. So we all can see that shit. But Iran, man, look, they've been fucking with Iran since I was in middle school. Matter of fact, they've been fucking with Iran long before.
And the clean break memo that they released in 1990, it shows Iran. We plan on invading Iraq a second time, Afghanistan, going into Syria, and then finally Iraq. They've done everything else on that list so far.
That's fine and dandy, man. Look, we have some people that are war hawks that want to go over there and fuck with some Arabs. They like to go, look, we don't even talk about the wars that we're in, the secret wars we're in Africa, the secret wars we're in south of the border. I don't know what's wrong with this fucking cat.
That's because those other countries are in those same secret wars, Jay. That's just how it works.
Russia's deep in Africa right now, and China's in South America.
So is China.
China's over there.
Yeah, I'm about to say right now.
Yeah, them motherfuckers own about 3 airports over there right now. So y'all niggas don't pay us back. We own
Uganda found like $2 billion worth of gold, and they had to give it straight to China.
Yeah, look, man, this shit, all this shit that we're talking about right now is not going to be what's going to spark off World War III. This is shit that's been going on for a long time. That's why I say, look,
that's not going to start World War III. The BRICS nations issue is going to start. BRICS is going to start World War III.
And the only reason why they get away with doing it in Africa is because they don't have no strong enough army to fight back.
Yeah, the only real Africa armies are like Angola and Egypt, and that is not enough for China.
Because the same guys that sold the same M230 great grenade launchers to America sold them straight to Kenya, Nairobi, and the gun runners. Have y'all seen that movie War Dogs? That shit's real.
Yeah.
Ethiopia. The same equipment that we have here, or the soldiers have here in the States, they have that over there because of some black market transaction that's already happened.
Yeah, and they're finding weapons that were intended for Ukraine in like the Congo with Wagner PMC.
I got one good for Red. I know Red would love this one. And with the Merchant of Death being released as of late for Brittany Griner,
I like that guy.
We're gonna have a lot more guns going around, a lot more weapons being transferred. But but we got look, man, we got Big Op 2024 up in the building. Sir, let me get your thoughts real quick, like before we go back to the video. I'm gonna get you, and then I'm gonna get Miss Jackson, then we're gonna play the video and we're gonna try to knock it out real quick.
Yeah, you were supposed to do this shit the other night, but it's all good. I ain't gonna hold it on you. Also, it's funny. It's funny that you turn into Cuba Gooding Jr. when you're drunk. But I gotta agree with Bean said. Either way, we'll be fucked for either one we vote out of either one of them, and we never look into other candidates, like I said, because they don't have the same money that Democrats and Republicans have to market themselves. Because we give all our money like idiots to those parties. It's like political Bloods and Crips versus each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's our
exactly
RFK
what
really
it
gave it
is.
a shot. Bobby Kennedy Jr., RFK gave it a shot,
but he don't have no money though. That's the problem.
and
Like
so
if he
and he
had
endorsed
Trump's
Trump.
money, he probably could have. And then he also exposed Trump, so I don't trust that either.
Yeah, but he's supporting too. Look, man, didn't nobody want him. But I don't even think it's. First off, I do agree we need to take money out of politics, but I don't think that's the reason that these motherfuckers are the candidates that they are.
Of course, dude. Of course it is.
No, I believe that the
That's
media
the main reason.
controls. I think the media control. Well, there you go. Maybe they paying all
Yeah,
these
and
media
who's the
companies.
media controlled by? The people with the money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was coming.
I mean, like you gotta think, Jay. Besides this, I fuck with other shit. You know, we had a conversation about, and you know, between me and you already know what I'm about to say.
Accusations.
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
And
Man, why you keep bringing up the dude that got beat up by some white dude with half a dread? Anyway, so anyways, you already know I told you things I dealt with that had to do with politics. It's the money. They got the money to get the media people.
I don't believe that these. I'm just gonna say it. I don't believe you need that much money to run a presidential election right now, like you used to back in the day. Because you got social fucking media.
About
this
a
should be a
couple
career.
$100 billion.
I don't think you need it.
Politics should be a part-time job. It shouldn't be a way for you
Yes.
to pay your bills. Like that's just
Look.
that's not
That's
how
why
it started.
look, if we get right as American citizens and actually all come
Yeah, you're right.
together,
It used to be that way. In ancient Greece and ancient Rome, they didn't even get paid for it.
Now it's like that with Washington. It started getting paid for it with Roosevelt.
Look, we need to take the money out of politics, but that's going to take us as American citizens demanding that shit. But the problem that I see, we get caught up a lot with the
No.
fear-mongering
How
and
is that going to
bullshit.
do anything?
If you take the money out of,
How do we demand anything? We don't have any leverage. Even if
You
we
do
say
have-
we're not
you
going to
do.
vote, if we say we're not going to vote for you, that doesn't even do anything. They're still going to continue with the two-party
That's
system.
a win for the other party.
Look, I'll tell you how we can do it, and this is very simple. Look, this is the craziest thing in the world. Don't go to work.
And then they're gonna throw your shit out on the street.
But see, I agree with that, but there's going to be scabs. They tried this in the 1920s with J.P. Morgan and Carnegie Steel. But the problem is if everyone strikes on the same day, they hire the illegal immigrants.
They cannot run this country with just the illegal immigrants. Take this. Do you think if black people just disappeared, black people were the only people in America that could work, everybody else stopped working, you think this country was still
Let's just say every black person stopped working on the same day. If all black people went on strike, they would fill it with immigrant jobs immediately.
No, black people will be the only ones that work. That's what I'm saying. Everybody else in this country stops working. Black people are the only ones working. Do you think this country would still be able to function the way it needs to?
Well, obviously not, but it doesn't need to for most people.
You know why? It wouldn't. How many black people are in this country?
I want to say 14% now.
So, how many illegals you think are over here?
Clue. I have no clue.
Less or more than black people?
Less. Obviously less.
So if we all strike, let's just go with the logic. If we all strike, every American strikes, there's less illegals over here than black people. We already said that the country would not function the right way with more people, which would be the black people.
You say the country, I agree with you, the country would not function the right way.
They're going to have to do something.
The country doesn't need to function the right way. If we all stop working, they'll say, oh, fuck y'all. And the ones that work for them, but they already have all the money. They already have all the assets. They just need a small group of people to maintain it. If we all say fuck you, we're not working anymore. It's like, all right, well, we're not giving you paychecks and handouts anymore.
No, you ain't got to. We just gonna take whatever the fuck we want. Think about it. It's got to be a concerted effort. It's got to be. I'm not advocating for this right now because I'm surprised Hurricane ain't here talking about anarchy, revolution. But we have all the power when it comes to this. I know a lot of people say we don't have the power. We do, but the power is us as people. We're the GDP. We're the product.
You're right. Well, we don't have power. We have
now,
potential power.
We got the power. They know it's the power. That's why they try to control us. They wouldn't set all these laws up and all this whoop whoop shit and put all these regulations in governing how we operate in a day-to-day life if they didn't. You don't try to keep something under control that you don't give a fuck about.
If hope was truly lost, the propaganda wouldn't be necessary.
Look, I'm just saying, if motherfuckers really want to get some change done, I can say not voting clearly, or actually voting and advocating for the policies that you want and trying to hope that you get the people in there. One of the biggest problems that we're always going to run into is we can put a person that we think has the right mindset and wants to do the right thing, but once they get in there, it kind of fucks you over. If you're an upstanding citizen, but you move into a neighborhood that's fucked up and there's a lot of crime going on, there's a good chance that you might end up falling into that shit. So a lot of these people we put up there end up getting corrupted by the exact same system. But if it came down to it, we can just say, fuck this shit, we're done. And they have to do something. The only reason a lot of these things have changed.
But by not voting, it doesn't matter how many people vote, even if 2 people voted. Oh, you're talking about not going to work?
Yeah, not going to work. Because
I'm with you on that. I think that should be an option on the table, honestly. But the problem is, if one group comes up with it, it will be labeled as either Republican or Democrat, and the other side will be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to work for Kamala that day."
You know it. That's why they did a really good job. That's all I always say, man. A lot of people need to read the book Divide and Conquer. They've done a good job of that. So in the grand scheme of things, we're kind of fucked. But we do have ways to get it done. But the problem is communicating between each other as American citizens and actually having each other's backs instead of fucking fighting each other. Because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that changed after COVID, brother. All that died. It's going to take some kind of tragedy to bring this country back together.
And that's what's on the horizon.
That goes back to the foundation.
Yeah, it's to the point now.
I don't think it
really waves now, man.
Because after 9/11, the whole country came together. But if 9/11 happened, pretty much. But if 9/11 happened today, I don't think we'd see that. I think people would start using it as a political weapon immediately.
Well, it goes back to the foundation, power and unity.
When the George Floyd thing happened
for a short time.
There were black people, white people, blue, green, Asian, everybody standing together. You had cops, you had veterans. Everybody was standing together when that happened, marching for George Floyd. Now, I can't speak on the Black Lives Matter movement, that whole scam thing going on there, but as far as the standing in unity, the country came together. That was a sign of it. It wasn't a Republican or a Democrat thing back then.
You still had the Republicans that were against that shit.
But
you had a lot of Republicans that were standing with people in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that
the way the media works nowadays.
They would call them rhinos.
When September 11th happened, that was on the news for 5 months straight. That's all they talked about. Today, we forget about it in a week.
Now, see, what you got to really remember about September 11th, because I remember I was in the 5th or the 6th grade when that shit happened. Yeah, we had this fake bullshit of, we're all coming together, but it didn't unite America to be like, let's go fuck these fuckers up. Because America was like, nah, we really don't want to go. We're not really trying to do that.
We wanted to heal. A lot of people were fired up because they wanted it. They used it to go into Iraq.
Because all of my family are straight veterans, and they was ready to go. They re-upped. They were retired, and they went and jumped back in the fight, man.
Well, here goes. Remember, we gotta remember what happened in history. September 11th happened. 9/11 happened, and They were trying to push it. Dick Cheney and Bush were trying to get over there. America shot it down. Only till he came back and said they had weapons of mass destruction did we go over there.
Saying is because that was a congressional thing and congressional powers of war and all that bullshit. What he was saying is there was a huge increase in enlistments right after 9/11.
Well, I joined during wartime, so I kind of get the gist, but the majority of Americans didn't want to go fight nobody. The majority of Americans didn't want to send their sons and daughters. It was people that came up with propaganda.
Yeah, I was gonna say majority
of
of the parents. Parents never want to send their kids to fight. That's just one thing about it.
Well, that's the majority of Americans.
Even veterans. Like, man, you can talk to veterans. The stuff that they fought for is different from what we're fighting for now.
Exactly.
You can go to any VFW post. You can go to any VFW post right now. Go sit down. Go have a meal with one of those guys. And just talk. Talk to a Vietnam veteran, and then talk to somebody that served in the Desert Storm, and then talk to somebody that served in Fallujah. And you'll see three different lights. You'll see three different understandings of patriotism, of hate, of love. You each and every one of them have a different understanding.
See, me and you both got family members that served and shit. Dad, granddad, all that shit. Yeah, it's different views on anything because the world was different at certain times when they dealt with certain shit. But right now, this shit that we're watching right now is. I'm gonna play a little bit more of it. I'm probably go to like the 2:30-minute mark, but look, we're gonna get back into it because I think we got a little sidetracked. But yes, there's clearly a lot of things in this country that I think we all can agree with. Oh my God,
no more wars. Get rid of all this. 250 military bases all over the world. Stop it.
Yeah, bring that money back home. We can fix this shit real quick.
Not the sidetrack or anything, but I mean the new war is headed to space. That's where we're at now.
Space wars.
The Space Force is a real. I don't know if you researched into that or looked into it, but
Space Force. Yeah, and it's pretty much.
It's real. We're already trying to make territorial claims on like the moon and Mars.
Yeah, like we have high powered photon lasers that actually really work now. That'll blow a hole clean through you.
Yeah, Maui was the test subject.
You gotta have a little blue tint in your life.
Hey, you got to. Let's keep going, y'all.
Then you were watching it unfold on television. It's a very simple question as we move forward toward another election. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Yes, sir.
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the mayor put it back in writing, as you know. I said, this is going to be a very big rally or whatever you want to call it. And again, it wasn't done by me. It was done by others. I said, I'd like to give you 10,000 National Guard or soldiers. They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me. It was just 2 weeks ago. Her daughter has a tape of her saying she is fully responsible for what happened. They want to get rid of that tape. It would have never happened if Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington did their jobs. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi, but I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the president of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say, we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
He said an economic
Let's not
bloodbath.
go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The president of the United States, you'll get him out of bed. You'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll say, come on down to the office. Let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed. Those people are killing many people, unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue to both of you because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
it.
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls. And we have to have it. We have to have borders. And we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them Republican.
No judge looked at it.
And said
they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The president of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you'll do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania, and I'll show you. We have so many facts and statistics, but you know what? That doesn't matter because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you. Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing.
What kind of question was that?
But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States, and world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact. That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago, it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president. But when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. He got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is
I think
up.
we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
Turning now to the Israel.
I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there a little bit because
Listen, I think he low-key does hate her.
Oh yeah.
No, he's talking about Joe Biden not liking Kamala.
Well, maybe so. But she responds to that too. You know what I'm saying? She responds to it.
I just don't
get like Joe Biden's racial remarks when he was a senator, and now they told him he had to pick a black woman vice president, and now they replaced him with her. I don't think he's that fond of her.
Well, she's not a black woman, so.
Well, she everything y'all talking about, she already talks about it.
To this too.
She talks about that before the debate is up.
She ain't washing no greens, no bathtub.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like, we just gotta be real. Look, she isn't black, so that kind of goes back on what you said, Red. That he had to pick a black woman. He didn't pick one. He picked the Indian.
Phrased it the way Joe Biden phrased it, and it's what they told him before what the White House released was a woman of color. So I guess it's technically right. I guess she is kind of covered.
I mean, Joe Biden.
Well, is she white?
Don't like her.
But it's all optics, man.
Only in America do we go by this white versus black. There's a million other different world shades.
Listen, Joe Biden had no plan. Joe Biden had no intentions.
That's north of the hemisphere, bro. Everybody in Florida, we already hit. You know, Florida and Texas and California. Like, we're melting pots, so we know that you can't just say, "Hey, that's a black guy," because that guy might be French, he might be Creole, he might be Haitian, he might be. You don't know.
But when you go all the way down to the descendant, it is not Caucasian.
No, that's not nationality, and it's not about. Well, it is in the case of Kamala Harris. She is more Caucasian. She has a lot more Caucasian ancestors than African. I'll tell you that.
That ain't true.
Of course it is. What African ancestors?
She said that she was on
grandfather who's Indian and Irish.
No, she got African. She was on the I believe DL Hughley show. DL Hughley show. She said her grandmother. Now that's what she said. She was on the DL Hughley show. But the point is, Joe Biden had no intentions on stepping down. You know what I mean? His intentions was to run this race. So it wasn't in the game plan. It's just something that just happened that, she never intended as well.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. But it was
falling
the fact,
off bicycles and falling downstairs.
When he started falling down the stairs and he had that debate performance, Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, they were like, "Joe, you're not doing this."
No, it wasn't them. It was by doctor's orders. And Joe Biden said out his own mouth, it would either be the doctor's orders or God himself tell him not to run. His doctor orders is what executed it.
I don't believe that for a second. The doctors were telling us he was acing all of his mental exams when he was clearly senile.
Well, he came back out and stated it. It was through his doctor's orders.
His family's wishes.
I want to know, does it even matter? Because the majority of the people didn't like Joe Biden. They didn't want him to run again to be president anyway.
No,
so.
they only voted for him
right.
to keep Trump from getting back in there.
Yeah,
That's all that was
they
about.
didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump.
That's all it was.
That's all it was.
Just like when Trump won, they didn't vote for Trump. A lot of people voted against Hillary.
Trump represented a lot of like outside anger and animosity that had been building up towards Washington.
Yeah, he just represented the racist white people.
Yeah. You saw Biden people, pastors, deacons, parents of the PTA. You never think be saying certain stuff. Walking around with tiki torches, like.
He inspired the racists to come out and be a little loud and proud.
I mean, I get supporting your heritage. I understand that, but
what is all, man?
Yeah.
Well, ain't that what Pan Africans believe?
Nah, I put it like this: when you got the little black lady buying 38 rounds and a 38 that she don't even know how to use because she's scared that somebody gonna come kick her door in because she got a Obama flag, you know, that right there, you know, that doesn't sit too easy with nobody.
Not really. No, it's gonna be very interesting to see what America chooses when it comes to this election.
Or don't you mean what quote unquote they choose for us?
Well, I didn't want to say they, because I'm not voting this. The American public it's gonna be interesting for me to see, because I'm not voting in this shit, to see who they actually pick. I want to see who they pick.
So Jay, I got a question for you. Jay, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, if you choose not to vote, then why would politics or why would the issue be important to you? Like, what would be the purpose or the cause of your panel if you don't choose not to participate for your voice to count?
You can use that for a lot of different things in the world. A lot of people are not dealing with illegal immigrants coming into their communities and doing anything to them, but they talk about it. They get out here and say, well, I'm voting for this person because they're going to get rid of these immigrants. Well, you ain't got no immigrants in your goddamn town. I'm like,
they don't know no better. They only...
Well, I actually seen they did an interview with the CNN, the panel last night. Everybody said Kamala destroyed him. She definitely won a debate, but the immigrants said they don't even want to be here. They interviewed them. They said it's good for us to go back home, not country, but they said their country's so fucked up. You know, they're just in a no-win situation. They said they're in a no-win situation, but the country is a matter of life and death. It's so fucked up that that's the case. But they said, hey, they don't even want to be here.
Why don't they go back to their own countries and fix them?
She just told you. She said they're fucked up. That's why they don't want to go back.
I mean, they're in the most powerful country in the nation, in the world.
Why don't they go back and fix their own country?
Because they don't have that power to do it there. They can do that in America. We're the most powerful nation in the world.
We don't have any power to stop them from coming in. So they have more power than us in that regard. They can go back to their own countries, which are smaller populations, smaller militaries, smaller power structures, and fix their own.
They don't have the rights, the freedom, or the grants and the assistance that they get here to do that, to exercise that in their country.
And neither do you, and neither can you. You can't get
right.
the same grants that you're talking about.
You're acting like we can do those things.
I'm just stating what an immigrant said out his own mouth. Don't get it twisted. That's one thing, the Democrats need to fix. They coming up in here taking over and so forth. And America has always been a hypocrite and needs to learn to take care of her own first. So that's always been the issue with America, but what I'm simply saying is they're putting it out there that they don't want to be here no more than we want them here.
Like, if you need to feed somebody,
I don't think most Americans do want them here.
That's what I just said, Red.
Yeah, she said we didn't want them here. Look, I'm not even gonna hold it when it comes to like the immigrants is not big on my list of issues in the grand scheme of things. That's not the biggest issue.
As long as you
need
pay
my
taxes and you can cook, shit, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, look, I need some more money in my pocket. I need the cost
Yeah.
of living to go down. I need to be able to buy a home. My next door neighbors are fucking illegal immigrants. I don't fucking care. I don't. My
Yeah,
whole
same
fucking
here. I
neighborhood.
work with them all the time. I mean, I speak Spanish, so it's like I don't care.
Like you cool. Like that don't really bother me. But my biggest issue is like, don't be doing nothing for them. That's my biggest thing. Don't do nothing for them if you're not gonna do nothing for us.
Here's the thing. I can speak on like I respect 100% what y'all saying, but like I know somebody that's a victim of her daughter was kidnapped, raped, and murdered by some dude from Peru. She can look this up. It was in Lakeland, Florida, and like he took her body and like spread it across the country. And then he took the daughter as well. And then when they captured the guy, like he used the daughter as like a shield or whatever. But they ended up shooting him and saving the kid. But this happened like in 2014. 2016, excuse me. But yeah, it was an illegal immigrant. Like the girl fell in love with, he was her boyfriend, and he ended up killing her. Just straight up dropping her, bro. Like
the same exact thing happened to I didn't know this person personally, but it happened here in Michigan. And it was just, what is up with these girls falling in love with illegal immigrants? We gotta clamp down on that.
I don't know, man, but it was a sad story. You know, I remember the lady having to take FMLA and time off, and we're
How much time did he get?
They killed him.
No, they killed him.
Oh, okay.
He got 0 years.
Yeah, he got
eternity.
Yeah, he got killed. They
I got you. Okay, yeah.
I remember I was working for a trucking company, and she was the secretary of the trucking company I was working for.
Well, that's just real similar of a story in Alabama, not too far from my grandmother's original hometown, near Camp Hill, Alabama. Same kind of similar situation. A illegal immigrant went over there and kidnapped a girl. I think he was going with the mama, and he killed the mama, and she had a son, killed the son, so he could hold the girl hostage and rape her and, do what he want to do with her, and had her kidnapped for a while or whatever. And I think she finally broke loose and got away. And and was able to get some help.
But see, in those countries, they do that stuff. And that's what sucks about those countries.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different culture.
Dude, we do that shit in America. Like,
dude,
come on, man.
And that's the lamest argument ever. That's such a lame argument.
So
if somebody broke into your house, somebody breaks into your house and starts eating you, right, like a cannibal, and you say, "Oh, but what about Jeffrey Dahmer?"
No,
Jeffrey Dahmer's bad. We have murderers too. We have serial killers too. The difference is we put them in jail.
Red, you got to think about what you just said. You said it's the culture down there. So it is a decent response to say we do that here. So do we have the same fucking culture?
Do we have the same fucking laws?
We do not have the cartel kidnap culture.
Do we have the same laws?
We ain't eating dogs and cats either.
People be surprised.
Well, you can't tell Donald Trump that.
I don't know about the Chinese restaurants, but yeah.
You'd be surprised what you eating in America.
I was gonna say, because I've seen in New York, I've seen those vans with the dogs. They've been unloading in New York. Like, it was on World Star.
The difference is the Chinese people just take the cat away in a box. They don't eat it in your driveway.
Yeah. But look, my biggest point about it, like, I understand, like, look, if anybody came to this country, I don't even care if it's somebody that came to this country illegally or somebody that's legal here. If you fucking with mine, I'm gonna have a fucking issue with it. That's plain and simple. I'm not gonna get on the bandwagon of arguing the point of the people that I'm never gonna argue the white man's fight. Like, look, I don't want anybody over here doing anything fucked up, illegal or legal. It don't matter to me.
So what if the white man is like, hey, there's an asteroid coming for Earth right now. We got to stop it. You'd be against that too.
That's not demonizing a group of people.
What if that group of people is demonizing the American population?
In what sense?
The sense of the stories we just told?
Dude. We have the data on this. They commit less crimes than native-born Americans.
You don't understand proportionality.
I'm not. There's more of them in this country than there are black people. That's why I was surprised when you said that. There's more Hispanics, probably more illegals in this country than black people. I'm not.
Well, obviously more Hispanics, yeah, but I'm not sure about illegals. We don't really know.
Didn't Trump say 20 million plus in this debate? He thinks it's over 20 million people that done came here.
Well, some people say that the official
video where they were talking, where they was like, "Where you going? New York? Where you going? Texas? Where you going? Florida? Where you going? America? Where you going? America? Where you?" Did y'all not see any of those videos? All those people walking?
Yeah, look,
where you from? India? Where you from? Turkey? Where you from? Iran? How the fuck did you
everywhere?
You got people come from Africa. They really was trying to keep the black folks trying to come from Africa out. But
Haitians,
look,
Jamaicans.
Yeah, my biggest thing is
I support Africans coming here.
No, they don't. They were trying to keep them out first before they even. They're like Hispanics. Said, y'all come on here, y'all black folks. Y'all gotta wait, nigga. But look, in the grand scheme of things, I think my number one focus is on like getting both parties to actually try to fix this problem. Us sitting here talking about it and them constantly bringing it up is fucking pointless. All it is just theater in our faces. They're playing in our faces. They literally are pissing on us and telling us it's goddamn rain because they could solve this problem. They don't want to solve this problem because mainly they need people to fucking work. They're tired of fucking. The reason our wages and all this shit.
That crack, man. People realize.
Hey, Jay, didn't you just say they couldn't sustain the world economy? Didn't you just say they couldn't sustain America?
No, but it's not about sustaining. They're trying to replace.
They're already doing it, Jay. I mean, you got automation.
The replacement is right now.
Yes, but see, I don't think you're getting what Red you just said. You said, aren't they trying to replace us? No, well, they're not trying to make us stop working. They want our dumbasses to keep fucking working, but they want to bring in cheaper labor so they can keep making more money for the people at the top. The most powerful and richest people are the ones.
You don't understand, brother. That mentality is about to die. That's going to be over with, bro. Tech is on the way. As far as that cheap labor, bro, they are replacing people in factories right now with robots.
I agree.
The truck drivers went on strike over the past couple of years, right? You know what they said? Fuck that. Since you motherfuckers don't want to drive your fucking trucks, we're going to put robots in these fucking trucks and send them down the road, and they can run 24 fucking hours. Now, if you want to run freight,
Andrew Yang was talking about that too. And I think the migrant, quote unquote, replacement of labor is actually just a sustainment until this automation complex. I think the real reason a lot of these people are coming in
automation. That's what I do.
It's for a tax base. It's for a voter base because, like we saw in Alabama, they found 3,000 illegal immigrants that were voting in federal elections. They're bringing them in for the numbers, and not to sound too conspiratorial, but I think in the event of like a civil war, world war scenario, a lot of these illegal immigrants would be granted citizenship in exchange for military service.
Who's going to do that? They're not doing it.
They're already doing it.
They're lying to them people. They are not getting American citizenship for serving. A lot of people, a lot of illegals got tricked.
Man, there's a video right now where the reporter went there and was asking the guy, "Where are you from? Nairobi? Where are you from? Kenya?" Same type of scenario. But these guys are privates now. They're they ain't even PFCs. You know what I'm saying? They're private. Dirt bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Did they get citizenship?
Clothes don't even fit right. No,
did they get citizenship?
But they covered under that uniform.
That's just the trick. That's just
you got to fulfill the contract.
No, it don't even matter if you fulfill the contract. There is no law that allows anybody that served for the military that's an illegal immigrant to become an American citizen. There's a dude literally fighting right now, a white dude from goddamn, I think he's from like Slovenia. Still to this day, he can't get citizenship. His shit done went all the way to the Supreme Court. That's just a lie they tell these fuckers. They don't give them citizenship. They don't.
I mean, I can't speak on him, but I know a guy that did it the right way, and it took him 30
years. I'm sure it's happened in specific cases, but it doesn't matter whether they do or don't right now. What I'm saying is in the event of a civil war, let's say hypothetically it's right versus left. We all know. This is. I mean, there's going to be a civil war next year. It's pretty obvious. But if we all know,
because you're listening to Trump.
The right has more guns. Right. This has nothing to do with Trump. The right has more guns than the left, obviously. So they're going to need a militia force. That's what the illegal immigrants are for.
That's gonna do that, man.
No, it's not. It's, what he's saying, he's got a point. Because I've sat and had coffee and spoke with people on this scenario, and yeah, that does make sense.
Well, here, I disagree with it.
Right.
Y'all can believe it. I disagree with it.
Make it make sense.
Like,
Well, the fact
I'm
that the
not-
Civil War is not going to be like it was with us, as far as slavery. You know, the North trying to free the South,
And it's not going to be
it's not
going to be
in
a
that
territorial thing. It's going to
It's
be
not that
rural
way.
versus suburban. It's going to be all over the place.
It's
Well,
different
I
what
won't-
he's talking about.
I won't be
It's-
participating in that, and I think a lot of Americans won't be
Yeah,
participating
here's
in
the
that
thing:
either.
you won't have a choice.
No.
You'll have what they call a time to evacuate. If you have that, it's kind of like, hey, leave everything
So
behind.
you're pertaining to it like global. It'll be global. So to
Nah,
speak.
it's gonna be it's not global. This
Talking about a
is
national
talking
civil
about
war.
here
The
in
first thing they
United
would do,
States.
one faction of the Civil War would institute.
Red, you went out. I don't know what the hell happened, but you went
That's
out.
the government. That's the boys.
Hey, that's the boys, man. Y'all need to stop that shit, man. Look, man, I'm not one.
Am I back now? Am I back now? Sorry,
Yeah,
Dave. Sorry, I
that's
just
some
dodged.
boys.
I just dodged a Illuminati laser beam. But
Damn.
but the ruling faction would immediately institute martial law. That's what it's for. And if you don't evacuate the city, the police force, the police state is going to go hostile on you.
Yeah.
Who are the only people that can institute martial law?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's in the Project 2025 agenda.
It's an executive branch.
Yeah,
That's
it's
So
government.
who would that be?
It's the executive branch.
No,
The-
who is the person at the top that has to actually initiate martial
The
law?
president.
The
It would
federal
be the
government.
president.
Exactly.
The president. So it depends on who's the president. That's what I said.
So you think Trump's gonna do it, or you think Kamala's gonna do it?
Either
I
or.
just said they would both do it. I'm saying whichever way it goes, if there's a civil war, the faction with the executive branch is going to institute martial law on the others.
There's not going to be a civil war, man. Let's just stop saying that. Just because we got some very
I'm just saying,
mad,
Mike.
I
I'm
got
glad
you.
you're armed.
Look, I got you. I keep my guns on me. But look, man, just because there's a sentiment in this country, especially from a lot of white men and white people around this country, that there's going to be a civil war. Those are the only people that's pushing that and talking about that. Black folks ain't trying to be out here fighting with y'all. Asian folks ain't out here trying to fight with nobody. Mexican folks ain't out here trying to fight. It's just a sentiment that white dudes carry around, mainly on the conservative side.
Yeah, you mean like the people that own all the assets? Like if it's a race war scenario, it's not even a problem because I mean the people in the inner cities will just delete themselves for power and resources. But if it's a political faction scenario, that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Let's not even talk about that because, like, look, there's not.
Well, it's impossible to take. It's like you need like a 5-to-1 advantage to overthrow a position, and so these territorial disputes are going to pop off with guerrilla warfare, with martial law intervention, and it's not. What's going to
spark it? What's going to spark?
No, they called it. It's not separatist. It's success. It's when you
secession.
Secessioners.
Yeah, that'll happen in a couple states because I believe, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think either side is going to accept the results of the election.
I don't think Democrats are going to have a real big issue with Trump winning.
Here's the thing, though. They've already said this. It's already been said in speeches that if they don't win, that there's going to be blood in the streets.
Look, this is something that I said I actually want to see. Because remember before I've talked about it many times, was the pros and the cons of both people winning. What I would want to see. I would want to see her win just for the simple fact, fuck him. That's the only reason I would want to see her win. Not for anything that she's planning on doing or I think she might do. The only reason I would want to see her win.
The expression you spite your nose to save your face or something like that.
No. I want to see the people. I want to see the people that want to talk about a civil war. The ones that's like, if she doesn't win, I'm going out. Please do. I want those people to go out there and do that dumb shit. Because regardless of whether they know it or not, the federal government's going to shoot their ass the fuck down. They don't even know, like a lot of these people that talk that shit never even seen war.
Jordan.
They talking out the side of their motherfucking
I don't think
necks.
a lot of middle of the road people are really worried about it. Like
Because the majority of people in the middle of the road ain't gonna do nothing. They know that.
Well, I plan on moving out of the country.
Families, they have careers, they have lives,
Right.
but if all that stops, guess what? It doesn't matter
Right.
anymore.
It's a whole nother ballgame, dude.
And now
And
you have
it
the
doesn't
same
take a lot
reason-
for it to stop. It does
Listen
not
to
take a
what
lot.
Listen to what you just said, Red. You said if one person doesn't win an election, so the world's not gonna stop. They still gonna have to go to work on Monday. So
No,
that-
dude.
What are you talking
No.
about? He
No,
started
dude.
the insurrection. The whole country stopped that day. Everybody stopped, went home.
did.
Everybody was
At
glued
work.
to the TV.
The
It was
military,
all-
you'll have
work.
military factions that go against each other, local police and sheriffs going against each other. It's a whole other ball game. And
I'm
Colin
trying to tell you,
Quinn,
people in the
his
military ain't
special
doing
said
that,
the other
man.
day. He said something funny. He was like, "If there's a civil war in America, it's the first time you're ever going to see fat refugees."
Look, you're not gonna see the people in the military doing it. A lot of people, like, look, man, you need to serve in the military to understand how these motherfuckers operate.
Well,
These motherfuckers
well,
ain't about
correct me
that
if I'm
life.
wrong, but a lot of the military supports Trump. And if they believe there's a
How would I
drastic
know?
interference in the election and Kamala wins and Kamala sends the National Guard and institutes martial law, a lot of them will defect.
Majority of the military is just like the majority of America. It's split pretty much down the middle. A lot of people
bro.
are so.
Nah.
Hey, so Bing. So
Absolutely,
hey,
especially
Bing.
not after Afghanistan.
Your combat arms, your ones that's really in that shit.
That's not
them the
majority
ones-
of them. That's not majority of them.
Exactly. The support groups are the ones.
We're not
who
talking
are
about the
chilling.
majority. We're talking about the officers, the sergeants.
We're talking about the ones. We talking about the ones that actually finna throw some fucking brass, some lead down fucking range at you from fucking 2,000
That is like less than
yards
maybe
away.
2% of the military.
But guess what? That 2% can wipe out another 30%.
No.
Yes.
There's less
Do you
people.
think?
there's
Do you
less-
think? Do you think they're gonna
It's
turn their
happened
back on their
several
wives
times
and kids?
before in history. It's happened so many times in history. Look at all the civil wars happening in the
I don't
world
think
right now in
y'all- I don't think
Ethiopia,
y'all-
in
I
Haiti.
don't-
It happens.
Okay, Bing, let me ask you a question, Bing. So when you talked about it being a blood war or whatever, so you was referring that to okay, so how's that referring to Donald Trump inciting war and you saying that's not what he's referring to?
So no, I didn't say it wasn't. That's exactly what it's inciting.
All right.
What I'm saying is this: January 5th or whatever that was, he incited the insurrection, right?
January 6th.
He gave January 6th. He gave that speech. They came out the fucking woodworks. People you wouldn't even imagine, pastors, preachers. So many people were on the news in our hometown for being down or up there in DC, getting arrested by the FBI, snatched out their house. You know what I'm saying? For going for this shit. But not only that, like these people believe like that's gonna be their savior. Like they are willing to die. Like they are willing to go to war for this. Stand by and stand down. That meant something.
And
You see
so
that
do you
black
not
and
see?
yellow tag? You see that black and yellow snake on that license plate? You might want to look at him twice.
So do you see that as a form of dictatorship?
It's not a form of dictatorship.
Here's a more important question. Here's a more important question. Why are we assuming that democracy is so good and so amazing? What's
We don't have a
necessarily, and I'm
democracy.
not saying this pro-Trump, pro-anybody. What's wrong with a dictatorship?
Well, first off, we don't have a democracy in the first place. All the people
Well,
that
I'm
think they
referring
live
to
in America-
when I talk about dictatorship, I'm referring to that it X out the people voice. The majority don't rule. The people voice don't count. Is the leader, and that's who's the leader is in authority, and what they say go, they lay down in law, and that's that.
It doesn't count anyway right now. And why should the majority rule in the first place?
You
That's how
gotta
it always
write like
works.
10 letters just to get a letter to get to your senator right now. You can't walk up to your senator and say, "Hey, I got a problem on my street." It don't work like that.
Look, the reason that our voices don't matter as much as it should matter, or how we think it should matter, is because we got too many Americans that don't lay it down and allow the shit to happen. Your voice should fucking matter, but we don't live in a fucking democracy. People need to stop thinking that. We even said they made us all. They indoctrinated all of us to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the Republic. So for all the people that sit around here and tell you got a democracy, you don't. It's really not majority rules. It's really what electoral college picks. You might be able to pick your state and local officials, but motherfucker, when it comes down to who's the CEO of this company, because this is a big ass company, it's not really a country. They pick that motherfucker shit. And then we also talked about the problem that
The
we have
shit's
in
fixed. I ain't voted since Obama. And then you look at my voter report card, I done voted twice. And I know that's a damn lie.
Look,
I've never voted, so technically
I
Bill
voted for
Clinton is my
Obama
president.
once in 2008, and I haven't voted since. I voted in 2008 because that was the first time I could ever vote, and my family wanted to take
Wait,
pictures.
did she really say the best countries have democracy? What are the best countries that have total 100% mob rule, popular vote democracy? Because I don't think so. I know she's not referring to Europe with the monarchies and the parliaments. I know she's not referring to Africa.
Look, the parliaments are their government. That is their democracy in a sense. When you get down to
That's
it,
not a democracy though. It's a republic.
It clearly we all live in a republic. It's just a figment of your votes count to a certain extent. They give you the illusion of a democracy. Technically, nowhere in this world
It doesn't mean anything.
democracy.
So that word doesn't mean anything. Like it hasn't
that's why
meant anything since ancient Greece.
See, Jane just need to come on up here, but she said I never said 100% mob rule. And
Yes,
shout out to Jane for
it
showing
is
up.
what
Hold
it
on,
is what democracy means.
Hold on real quick though, Red. You say I never said 100% mob rule. That's not what democracy means. Democracy means voting.
Where's that in the definition? I'd like to see open elections though, like how they have in Taiwan and the Philippines, where every vote is a paper ballot and they show it on camera on a live stream.
Red. They start blowing people up, and those open elections get dangerous, man. People
Yeah. Well, it just needs to be protected. It just needs to be.
Really. Nah,
I mean, I trust pieces of paper. They used to vote with shards of plates.
Well, shit. We still kind of use paper to an extent, but a lot of shit's gotten digital.
I don't trust that.
We still use paper too, though.
Yeah, I don't trust anything that connects to the internet.
Well, guess what? The biggest issue on the right last time we had an election was people didn't trust the paper ballots.
You talking about mail-in ballots?
Yeah, not when they're being sent and given in duffel bags in the middle of the night.
Look, we don't need to get into the conspiracy of people saying like they stole some shit from them. It was clear as day that that motherfucker pissed off a lot of Americans. A lot of people didn't like him. And majority of the time in this country, majority of the Americans normally vote for Democrats. Majority of Americans do not vote for fucking conservatives. Conservatives normally win majority of the time when the electoral college get it. Because name one Republican president that won the popular vote.
Oh, there were several. I'll have to look, but there were several.
To look it up, wouldn't you? You have to look it up. It just doesn't happen like that.
Wilson.
Roosevelt? I have to double check that.
Taft.
I have to double check that. I'm going to have to double check it. But we do got Miss Jane Gypsy up in the middle. Matter of fact, y'all, look, I'm going to do y'all a solid. Even though I got to get up early in the morning. I'm going to let this shit run to the 3-hour mark. So y'all got 23 fucking minutes. 23 fucking minutes to say something crazy and give me a headache. But I'm going to go to Miss Jane Gypsy first and let her introduce herself, and then you can get back to the bullshit.
Okay. Thanks.
Why you ain't on camera, girl? Get your ass on camera, girl. We want to see your face.
No, I'm just in my pajamas. I'm just chilling tonight, so no camera. But yeah, no, I was just joining the conversation because some people up here are saying some stupid things as normal. So,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, like democracy means voting.
What are you talking about? Hey, look, guilty dog just started barking.
A democracy just means that there's a voting process in the country.
Wait, there's a voting process in Russia. There's a voting process in China. Are they democracies?
Red, you gotta let her finish her statement, then respond.
It's not just the fact that people vote, it's a whole literal like government setup, like with checks and balances and stuff like that.
Like what?
Like checks and balances of the government where people vote, and also
checks
like
and balances.
in
What
Russia,
does that mean?
in Russia, you're not allowed to like protest, for example. Here,
That has nothing to do with voting.
It does have to do with the fact that people have a say, though. Because here, when people
But that's not voting. I thought democracy was voting.
When people protest and when people make their voices heard and they want a bill to be passed, if people want to get elected, they have to run on what the people want in order to get elected.
No, they got to get money. They got to pay.
They got to get bucks.
They got to get money.
Sure, in order to get to a certain point. Yeah, you do need money as well. Okay, but to get elected...
No, you need money first.
You need money for anything in life.
You got to have like 100,000 behind you. Like, minimum.
Okay. So if you have 100,000, if you have
and that's
money,
just giving it away. That's not yours. That's like you're giving this away.
You can't buy to be the presidency. You can't pay money to be the president.
You don't.
Or you can't pay money to be a senator. Like
you
we don't
pay money
for
to be on the ballot. You pay money to be a part of the debates. You pay money to be part of both the GOP and DNC.
Sure. Yeah. That is how it works. But you're still voted in. So
Democracy is government by the people.
So somebody who wants to do something that nobody wants. Somebody who wants to do something that nobody wants.
There you go.
They could have all the money in the world, and if nobody votes for them, they're not getting the spot. So it's not about money.
Look. First off,
I said it. I said it was mob rule. That's exactly what I said it was.
Well, that's a democracy, and I would want. Look, if
that's
I'm
the definition.
House,
rule of the majority.
Look, if I'm in a house, matter of fact, let's say we're on a team. And matter of fact, no, not on the team.
Not a team because a team is not a democracy. A team is a dictatorship, and the dictator is the coach.
If it's not about money, why would you pay $500 a dinner plate?
Well, here you go. The reason I would say it's not about the money before you can even get to the point of putting your money up, you need to have connections first to even get close to even trying.
Wait, connections to who? People with money.
By working your way.
It's not about you having the money, though. That's what you said. You said you needed to have the money.
No. It's about money in general.
You have to have the backing.
Money is a part of the process, but more money doesn't mean you're more likely to get elected. So that really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean,
what do they say? We raised $74 million in 24 hours for Kamala.
Well, look at the billionaire Trump.
It helps. It certainly helps.
An election.
But Trump could Trump could have more money than another candidate, and he might not win. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're going to win.
No, just because it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about what Donald Trump has in his personal bank account, dude. I'm talking about the hundreds of billions of dollars that are thrown up to the candidates.
But think about it. The logic fails when it's like, okay, Donald Trump didn't run an election by just paying for it himself. Donald Trump is getting donors to give him money to run his campaign on top of him having billions of dollars.
That's what I'm saying.
My wife
so
said
if you wanted to run, and if you wanted to run for president, and none of these people with money decided to endorse you,
need
you'd be
support.
shit out of luck. No, you'd be shit out of luck.
So our
you need funding and support.
Support from who?
Our system runs off currency.
Somebody who's a billionaire.
Okay, our system runs off currency.
Yeah, we know that money is involved in everything. No, we know that money is involved in everything.
It is
money
involved,
should not be.
but...
It's not the deciding factor.
Yes. Also, like, poor people can work their way up to get support and the funding. Like, if you work your way and you go to, school, or you start going through the government.
Can you name one president who's done that? in the last 100 years.
Who started off as like a middle class or a lower class citizen?
Obama was in the Senate, and he was handpicked out of the Senate.
Yeah, but he didn't have money
He didn't
like
start
you
a
thinking. He wasn't a
grassroots
millionaire.
third-party movement. First of all, he joined the Democratic
it's not
Party,
like all of our candidates are
which had
millionaires.
Bill Clinton.
Here you go.
Bill Clinton joined the Democratic Party too.
Let's get a good understanding. How much money is having money before you run, Red? What's the limit?
Before you run?
Yeah, how much money do they need to have?
Well, I don't know. It's ballot requirements for each and every state. You got to pay that off first.
How much money does the candidate
I don't
need
know
to have?
the exact fucking dollar
I
amount.
don't think there is. I don't think there is an amount. I just think the
There
fact that you have money helps your
when was the
campaign,
last
so you're more likely to get
that was
elected.
elected president? Who was the last poor person elected president?
That's the reason
Not
I'm
the
asking
point.
the question, because we're
That is the
talking
point.
Red, hold up. We're talking very vague. We're saying like you need to have money to win. Yes, we know that a lot of money.
So if you don't, when was the last poor person that was elected president?
Hold up real quick. I don't want you getting triggered like Trump was tonight. Look, I want you to tell me, for the individual person, how much money do they need to come in that comes strictly from them outside of donors? Because people can raise money from any group of people to run a campaign.
Matter.
How much money does that person need to have?
Doesn't matter.
It only matters because if you don't have money for your campaign, nobody's going to know who you are. You don't have money for advertising. You don't have money for rallies. Nobody's going to know who you are in order to vote for you. That's the only reason money matters.
Well, all those industries, and I see where you're coming from, but when you're talking about media and promotion, these are already strangleholded by political interest groups. If you don't have the support of the big money corporations that support the political action committees, that support and fund and operate a lot of the mainstream media, you're shit out of luck.
I think you can still. I think honestly, in today's time with technology getting as good as, I really truly believe that somebody can run a presidential campaign without fucking having the big media companies behind them. Now, I will say
Absolutely not, because the media would smear them. That's what they did to RFK.
Red, I will say, and honestly, I don't think they did that for real. Because guess what? I never even saw anything about RFK getting smeared.
Exactly.
And I do social media, but you said they smeared him.
They smeared him in the spaces he appeared in, but they didn't cover him.
I never saw it.
Maybe because he sucks.
I never saw it. I didn't think.
Well, that's your opinion. But the fact is, he's a third-party candidate, and he didn't have the backing of these giant corporations. Therefore, he had no chance.
People. He didn't have enough voters.
Yes, he did. He was beating both. Exactly. He was beating Kamala. He was beating Trump. He was beating Joe Biden in all of the polls.
Red. Remember, to qualify for a debate, you have to have what?
A certain percentage of polling. But that polling is all biased. And the polling doesn't matter if, like we said, it's about your media and your advertisements.
You can do that on social media.
Yeah, that only goes so far.
But no, he got banned from social media. He got banned from YouTube, Twitter.
That's why he created True Social.
No, we're not talking about Trump. We're talking about RFK.
Yeah. RFK was banned from everything, so you can't say you can start it up.
On True Social. He has his own.
How did he get banned from YouTube?
Everybody knows about RFK. It's not like this is some unheard of person. Like,
okay. Now you're moving the goalpost. The goalpost was that you can get it all on your own with social media. No, you can't, because they'll ban you.
How did he get banned from YouTube?
He got banned from YouTube for working on lawyer cases against people who were injured from the jabby jab.
So he worked on case.
He broke TOS somehow.
Yeah, the new TOS they invented in 2020 that says you're not allowed to talk about.
Well, it's their company.
Okay, so you
tell me that
free
market.
I just got you, man, because there's a lot of workarounds, man. We can't be like the little kid. It's like, well, I tried and I hurt my knee, so I don't want to do it no more. As a parent, you would tell a motherfucker, no, dust your stuff off.
No, they banned RFK because he was talking shit about the jabs. He was talking shit about GMOs and the chemicals they're putting in the water.
Clearly, people don't like him enough.
Ray, I want you to hold up.
Oh yeah, it's not the fact he got banned.
That's all that was about. It's hard to hear him talk too, like the way he talks.
The reason I'm bringing this up, there's a woman, Jane, you know who I'm about to say. There's a woman by the name of Cynthia G. Supposedly got kicked off of YouTube. The bitch is back on YouTube. RFK could have had somebody else pushing, like create a channel in their own name he could have did it underneath an alias. That all
That
it
would
did was
still violate TOS.
it doesn't fucking matter. Cynthia G's violating it right now. She's still on YouTube.
Okay, all right. Well, she's a
People get
black
their
woman and
YouTube
she's
channel.
not running for
Sneeko got his
president.
YouTube channel back.
And Jaguar Rice.
I know
because
other
they drew
I know
back
other
the
people-
TOS. They changed the TOS. That's why.
I mean, either way, and yeah, like what Bean said, like he just didn't have a pleasant voice. Like he's very pleasant to listen to. It's just like most people know who this
Women.
guy is. I'm not the literally Beans brought that up. I don't think Beans is a woman, right?
But he's speaking to the fact why he wasn't popular.
Only on Sunday.
No, I'm just saying he doesn't have like presidential like qualities. That's all. I was just pointing that out. Like he's just not likable.
Well, Ghosty, I wanted you to finish your point. I felt like you got cut off or interrupted. So I would like you to finish your point out.
Oh, which it's been a while. Do you remember what it was about?
Well, when you first came on, pretty much, and we was talking about Democrat, and just kind of took it from there.
You meant democracy?
I just
democracy.
I don't know what this sudden interest in dictatorships is coming from Republicans, like certain Republicans, this pro support of Putin and democracy really isn't that great anymore. It's weird to me. I think it's problematic.
No, it's really weird. Well, it's never, like we said, it's never been a democracy in this country, and there are several presidents.
It's a form of democracy.
No, it's not. No, it's
well,
not.
It's damn so not a dictatorship. It's not a monarchy.
Yeah, actually, yes, it was. For several periods in American history, it functioned exactly as a monarchy. Look at the presidency under Abraham Lincoln. Look at the presidency under Andrew Jackson, under FDR. It functioned as monarchies.
Red, there was a reason that they had a civil war because it wasn't
an emergency powers. And what did the emergency powers
prevailed.
grant
And that prevailed.
It
wasn't
a
reason
dictatorship.
America has
It
never
was.
been a dictator. The United States has
Okay,
never
you
been a
can say
dictatorship.
that word, but you don't actually know what it means. If the executive branch has ultimate power and ultimate control, which they have in several administrations in American history, that is the same thing as a monarchy.
Real quick,
I don't know why you're hiding from that.
Red, was there ever a time in this country where
Abraham Lincoln?
Hold up, real quick. Was there ever a time in this country where this place was not considered a country, but just colonies of another country?
Before the revolution, yeah.
And those people got fed up with that, said, nope, we're not dealing with a monarchy. What did they do?
They formed a revolution and formed their own constitutional
They
republic.
came over here and raped and pillaged and stole land.
They didn't do that. They didn't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They didn't do that. But to the point that I'm trying to get at, look, it was a monarchy in the very beginning. And then
We escaped a monarchy.
They fought against the monarchy. They convinced a lot of other people, and then they formed
The British monarchy is not a real monarchy. It's a vestigial thing. They're just like the royal.
Right, it's also a form of democracy.
Yeah.
It's a different form of democracy.
Wait,
They prevailed that
so
back in the
monarchy
day,
is
man.
democracy now. Wait,
No,
Britain
dude.
has a Britain. Wait, hold on. Let me ask you a question. If Britain has a monarchy right now, would you say they're not a democracy?
Britain does not have a monarchy. Those people are just.
Oh, they don't?
They
That's what
have.
I said.
They have no power.
That's what I just said. It's not a real monarchy.
Oh, they got power.
Right.
Did y'all not see when they broke that bitch's wand in front of everybody?
They
And the
have a
world went to
form-
shit. When they broke the wand, the world went to shit.
Nah,
They have
man,
kinetic
look,
power, not actualized power. If they wanted to, they could enact this, that, and the third, but we all know
they
they're not going to do it.
The
Just like,
people wouldn't go for
if
it.
you look on, it doesn't matter whether they vote for it. In the British law, it's
No,
on the
they
books.
wouldn't go for it. I ain't talking about voting. The people wouldn't go for it. They changed their own.
It doesn't matter what the
system
people
over
do. Have you seen the
It
people in
does.
Britain? They're rioting right now. The police are locking them all up.
Look, it does matter because the reason that the king and the queen don't run that country no more is because the people said, fuck that shit.
Who
That's
said
what
that?
it used to be. How do you
America
think they
said
got
that.
No, how do you think Britain, the UK, Great Britain and shit, how do you think they got to the point where these people are just figureheads that have no power? Why did they
Because of
have
the global hegemony, that was created out of the British Empire. It's still the same process. It's still the same power. And on the books, the king or queen has the power to override pretty much everything. The parliament doesn't have power in that country. That's why they don't have free
And
speech.
the U.S.
That's why
doesn't
they don't
have
the
that.
Second
That's why
Amendment.
we're not a monarchy, because we don't have that
No,
power. The president doesn't have the
and
power to
that's
just completely
and that's
vote,
not
veto
necessarily
everything.
a good thing.
And never
I'm
had.
gonna just
It
go
is a
around the
good
room.
thing.
I'm gonna go around the room real
All
quick,
right.
like, because clearly I think this is a bullshit topic right here. I'm just gonna go around the panel real quick. Miss Jackson, are you for democracy? I mean, are you for a monarchy or a dictatorship? Yeah, we're just gonna go with dictatorship. Are you for a dictatorship or not?
That's not a good word, because you can have democracies with dictatorships. I think monarchy is a
No,
better
it's
word.
not, dude. Words matter.
I want you to just calm down for a second and just let
Dictatorship
me
is an
ask.
office. Monarchy is an actual system of government.
I just want you to let me ask the question because I'm about to come to you after her. Don't get caught up on the word. Miss Jackson, are you for a dictatorship or against it?
All right, Kenique Jackson, for democracy, for the people. Damn sure ain't for no dictatorship. Is this the closing remark?
No, we ain't got there
Okay.
yet. All
All
right,
right.
Red, are you for a dictatorship or not?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I am a proponent of monarchy, and I think democracy has failed us in every single way.
I
Democracy has
don't
made our
want
lives
you,
better.
Red, I don't want you to be like them
So,
politicians. I don't
if
want
we're
you to be like
talking
them
about,
politicians.
I got
You
you.
made
I'm
it.
answering the
You made
question.
that statement earlier. Remember, you called out Kamala for it.
Listen,
This bitch
first of
can't
all,
answer a yes or no question.
no.
I need you to answer yes or no. Come on, help me
And
out.
what you guys are referring to, yes, dictatorship is inherently more effective than democracy. It's better than democracy, and it's a better way. It's
So
actually true democracy, because with
Red
a
is a
dictator,
traitor
the
to this
actual
country.
people, I am, send me to Britain, but the
You are an
actual people,
Go, bitch.
the actual people would have a better voice in this country if it was represented by a dictator and not some shadowy elite that's always getting us to fight with each other.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I just wanted to get an understanding. Mr. Bean, are you for a dictatorship or not?
Oh yeah, I'm with a dictatorship, bro. Like, I ain't with all that extra shit. Shut the fuck
All right.
up. 10 o'clock, cut the lights off, go to fucking bed. 6 a.m., y'all go to work. Do it all over again.
All right. And Miss Jane Gypsy, I'm sorry, Miss Ghosty, are you for a dictatorship?
Fuck no. Obviously not. Also, when you go to work at 6 a.m., they're going to take your money too. And
They're doing that now. What do
They
you
don't,
mean?
no, they do that right now in our so-called
than what
democracy.
you
They tax me at 22.5%.
Y'all
What do
sound
you
like
mean?
y'all institutionalized. That's some institutionalized shit.
Far from it.
That inmates used to.
Well, here, I will tell y'all this. I'm not for a dictatorship. And the reason I'm not for it, because I can understand the gravity of how far that shit can go. If one person controls this, hold on, Red. Just let me finish. If one person controls this and they make the rules for everybody, let's say they get pissed off because they don't like my black ass skin. I can be a slave again. Let's say they don't like your pale ass red. You going in chains. I will not ever leave that up to one person.
But you're leaving it up to mob rule. You're leaving it up to rule of the majority, which is the definition of democracy. And I don't think you guys actually support democracy, because
well, we don't have mob
let me
rule
ask
That
you
means
this.
we speak for ourselves. That means the people speak for
No,
themselves.
that's not what that means. Democracy comes from the Greek word demos and kratos, rule of the population, rule of the people, majority rule. So would you?
Exactly
Let me
what
ask
I
the
just
question.
said.
No, let me
Exactly.
ask the question. Okay, let me ask the question then. If 51% of the population voted to delete the other 49%, would you support that? Would that be well?
So
That would be
could one
democracy.
man do
But
it?
would you support it?
So one man do it. What's the difference? Why would you allow
There
one
is no
person
difference.
to
That's
have
my
that
point.
much authority and power over your life, and especially an idiot
allow
like
the mob
Trump?
rule? Why would you allow the mob rule to have power over
you
your
can
life?
speak for
Of a
yourself.
mob. We have a less.
You can't.
There's a much lesser chance of a whole mob wanting one crazy thing versus one person wanting one
Really?
crazy
Have you ever
thing
read a
that
history
most
book?
people don't want.
Most people want crazy things. Have you ever
Also,
heard
by
of
the
World
way,
War
we don't
II?
have mob rule right now, as you understand. We're a democratic republic, so
Well, if that's the case, Red, we haven't had that problem.
a thing.
We haven't had that problem in centuries.
You know what North
as a
Korea calls
democracy.
themselves?
We
North
have
Korea calls
amendments.
themselves the Democratic Republic of North Korea. The word doesn't mean a thing.
Okay.
Well, the problem has never existed since democracy has came out. It's never existed.
They can call themselves what they want, but when you actually look at the government, do they follow the guidelines of what an actual democratic republic is?
Red, I'm gonna give you a good one. Because I think Red's trying to get caught up on the word and saying that other people say this and say that. You know, I talk about relationships a lot over here, right?
Mainly.
Yeah. So, you know, we have a lot of people that might be, you know, like the baby mama, like 5 dudes with 5 kids and shit, but they call themselves certain things. It doesn't matter what they call themselves. It matters about what they do, right?
Exactly. And that's what I'm asking. What does America actually do that makes us democratic?
Hold on. To your point, you said North Korea calls themselves this, but what do they do? That goes to James' point. They can call
I'm
themselves whatever they
asking,
want.
what do we do? Because she can say whatever the Western media wants to tell her about North Korea. We actually don't know what's going on
Do you
there.
need a government lesson? Is that what's happening?
No,
right now?
I would actually not like a government lesson. I'd like to do my own research on North Korea. But what do we do?
No, I'm
that's
talking
so
about America.
democratic?
Actually refer to Jay for that. He actually went over there.
He don't like referring.
Well, you went to South Korea.
I went to North Korea too.
You did not go past the fucking DMV, dude.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he did. He was over there with that group when that motherfucker broke free. And
I was not over there. I was not in that.
So he was in the DMV.
I was not in that group.
No, but he wasn't. What I'm saying, he wasn't in North Korean territory.
I stepped on North Korean territories. They do it every year.
With your pinky toe?
Nah, we walked around over there and everything. Like, they have a DMZ over there where you can actually cross the DMZ like they do. And it's crazy because you'll see like the pink and the baby blue houses and all that shit. I don't understand why they.
Oh yeah,
have
the
that
part
line
where
anyway.
they allow, when the president goes over there.
I've been in North Korea, man. I've been in North Korea.
Nice place.
No, it's not.
Why don't you move there, Rad?
Look, South Korea ain't even nice like that.
Because I'm not a Korean.
Sound like you might blend in.
Jay, let me ask you this.
I'm not sure about that.
Because
what you got, man? What you got?
My brothers can really attest to this. Like, I've seen pictures. Like, I've physically seen it. But have you been to like any of those like Asian markets where they actually serve up like the dog or the monkey meat? Like they do have monkey and like dog.
The wet markets.
You want to know something funny? I've never been to a market where they served up the dog, but when we were in Pyeongtaek, South Korea, the base is right across the street from a Korean restaurant, but right beside the Korean restaurant, they had a bunch of dogs in a fence. And we used to...
and they weren't for petting.
Look, I'm just saying, I thought it was the funniest shit ever because I never ate at the restaurant, but when we got there, we were there for probably about a month. Every day we saw less and less dogs in that fucking fence.
Yeah, they do that all over the world. They do that in Haiti.
I'm not gonna knock anybody that eats a dog or eats a cat or anything like that. I'm not, man. Motherfucker, it's meat.
Because in the Philippines, they eat dogs.
I will.
They definitely eat dogs in the Philippines.
Why would you do that? Look, we eat shit over here that people think is crazy.
No,
that's how COVID was invented.
Look into it, dude. Let me tell you something. Look into a chicken's eyes. Does it really have a soul? No.
Yes.
But you look. No, absolutely not. It's a bug.
A little less. Definitely less than cows, but cows definitely do. Cows are very smart animals.
Well, you look into a dog and you have that instant psychic spiritual connection.
Pigs are very smart.
Look, see, Red, I think what you're dealing with is we have been indoctrinated to look at certain things.
It's not indoctrination. It's just a difference in culture, and we have these cultural differences for a reason. In the East,
and rats too.
To understand the culture of the East, it's not indoctrination. It's what happens naturally over cultures over periods of time.
You don't think Americans, the first Europeans that came over here, ate dogs?
I doubt it. No, they actually used them.
Actually,
they
Yeah, the Native American gate wolves.
What are you talking about?
No. That's some real shit right there. Now I know Native American history, or I've studied a lot of it actually. That they did
Comanche.
They would kill their fucking dogs and eat them. Yeah, they would eat.
Right, but in a lot of these places,
or anything like that. But like
they're eating the dogs.
They are. Yeah. Well, not the dogs, but the cats and the geese.
Look,
they came over with like Great Danes and Basset Hounds and stuff like that. They came with European dogs. You know what I'm saying? So like when they came over here, them things ran free. Shit, I got a tomahawk and an arrow. What the fuck is this? This is food.
They eat all the
this is a furry piece of meat.
Look, this gonna sound messed up, but if it came down to it, and I needed substance, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, just like I think y'all will do what y'all gotta do.
What if it's your own dog? Would you eat your own dog?
If I was gonna die of hunger,
I would not.
mean, sorry.
I could not eat my own dog.
Oh, you gonna die?
So that's
woman thing. You just gonna die. I'm not.
Plus, after I eat my dog, what's gonna happen after that, anyways? I'm just gonna die.
You go find some more food.
And I'm gonna have to die without my dog. So no.
Oh my god.
Jane, think about this. It's the
dog
same
can
thing
hunt
when
for me.
Is people became cannibals and ate other folks when they was down to starvation.
I'd rather eat a person than a dog.
Damn.
What?
Yeah, Jane.
Actually, I'm kind of with her on that. It's like if we were in a plane crash and it was me and two other survivors and my dog. Yeah, I'm gonna eat one of those people.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat one of you. Like
if it's my own dog, like fuck yeah, I'd rather eat a person.
Yeah, we both have a dinner.
Hey man, look, I got 3 human meat eaters, right?
If it came down to it. Over my fur babies. Yeah, dog.
The dog is going first, man. Look, a human being would be the last thing I would ever eat.
You just ain't had a dog that loves you yet. That's what it is.
He outside on the front right now.
That's exactly right.
You keep him outside.
Right.
No, he's an inside dog. He's just outside when I do my show because he like to move around a lot and I ain't got time to hear no nails.
You better watch out for all those immigrants out there that are eating dogs.
Yeah, well, it is part of. I actually looked this up, and I talked to one of my Haitian friends. So they don't eat cats out of hunger. It's more of a ritual thing for this festival they have near December, and they eat them as a delicacy along with goose and ducks and stuff. But the bones of the cats they use in their rituals when they worship like Papa Shango and Baron Samedi.
Hey, look. I'm not gonna knock anybody for what they do in their culture when it comes to what they eat because I'm actually a big I went to cooking school and shit, and I watch a lot of YouTube channels. They got a channel, y'all need to go check them out. Best Ever World Food Review Show. He would go to like these African tribes or these Hispanic tribes way down like the Mayan people and shit, and he would try to engulf himself in the culture, and you would see the things they do. Man, motherfucker drinking cow blood. I ain't finna do that shit. But they would eat different things. Like the Africans, they eat a lot of in certain parts. They eat fucking I forget what it's called.
You can't say that. You can't say that because I done drank deer blood. You know what I'm saying? Like
and elk heart.
I just say I wouldn't want to, but.
In the heat of the moment, when that adrenaline pumping, and you got a guy, what you saying?
If it's gotta go, it's gotta go. Because I done ate some weird shit in my life. I never thought I would eat a bug before. But we were actually in a market in South Korea, and I ate bugs before.
Ew.
Didn't taste that bad.
I would never eat a bug. I eat a cat before a bug.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a southern delicacy. Pig brains and eggs.
Look, man, we had people in America. We already know when we was in school, we had kids that ate chalk. Like, come on, man. They ain't chalk.
In Georgia, they call it white dirt. They sell it at the gas stations.
Listen, I'm not gonna knock anybody for what they eat. I'm not. It's harder than a motherfucker to even find foie gras in the United States. All that is a goose liver. They done put this thing down a goose mouth, made that motherfucker get fat as hell for that liver.
Yeah.
And it's illegal in a lot of fucking states. But I done had it before and this shit's good.
Because I've never had it, but I've heard about it. It's because it's really hard to get because the Canadian goose is protected in all 50 states.
They another reason why you can't get it because they think it's inhumane the way they feed those goose. Dude, I'm trying to tell you.
What is it?
Right, but it's not inhumane to throw a fucking lobster in a fryer while it's still alive.
Yeah, you boil that bitch alive. And I understand why they boil it alive because it fucks with the taste. Like they excrete a chemical if you kill them while they're alive and you don't cook them. But I'm like, we got certain people that feel a certain type of way about what other people eat. It's dude. People in the north think it's crazy that people in the south eat pig feet. Like tomato, motherfucker. I'm not gonna knock nobody feed you what they
Big
eat.
feet ain't that bad. It's when you get to
Some
talking
people-
about pig ass pitlins.
Oh, chicken butt. People eat chicken butt. Chickens got a little bitty tip on the back of their butt, and they literally, they'll fly.
Liver heart.
Chicken heart, yep. People eat
Liver, hearts, the whole work.
something I think
What's
that a lot of
liver
people had a
hearts?
problem with, especially the black folks on this.
No, I'm saying they eat the liver, the hearts, and the whole work.
Oh yeah,
There's a big difference between necessity and culture, right? So I mean, people in this country eat fucking hot dogs, and that's like
Now,
pig
our
ass and
country's all
chicken
get
dick.
out. And I done seen some shit in the backwoods. Like I done seen people pick up roadkill and put it in the back of their fucking truck.
Look, you know where we from. You know,
RFK did that.
Don't tell nobody where the parks we from, but you know where we from.
Yeah.
And that people look shit. You'll be at a party, some house party, and somebody bring in some random meat and tell you it's deer. You know what the fuck you eating?
You guys, do you guys have wild turkey?
Yeah.
Wild turkey, a lot of places, man. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
wild turkeys up there.
We have wild turkey.
Yeah, we got them up here.
Possum or opossum, and then
I ain't gonna lie. That's enough. Like now we about to start making lists of things I will not fucking eat.
You done ate it. You just didn't know you ate it.
Yeah, I just didn't know, man. Look, you got
Yeah, he was at a house party one night
I've
and you
had
served it to him,
alligator.
didn't you?
I eat alligator and I eat snake and not feel no type of way about it.
All you got to do is go to a Florida State game or a University of Florida game. You get as much free gator as you want at the tailgate.
I know a lot of people right now still to this day that think eating frog legs is weird.
Frog tastes like chicken.
That would be
I'm
my
get
first option if
You
I
get
was
like
stuck in
mouth
the woods.
warts, right? You get mouth warts.
Look, and
Well, that's from
I
toads.
looked it up. I looked it up. If a frog pee on you, you're not gonna get warts. You're not.
So, well, it's the toads. That's where it comes from.
It's
If
the
you grab a
toads.
toad and like if you squeeze one of those glands on its back, those little bumps, that will fuck you up.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of little shit I'll be looking at. But look, y'all, all in all, I want to go through y'all and get y'all final thoughts on this debate. Look, it was fun to have this little last part conversation. What would you eat? I need to have a show literally titled "What Would You Eat?" and I have like a list of foods. It's like, would you eat it, nigga? Would you eat it? But I want to start off with matter of fact, we're gonna do ladies last. We're gonna switch this up today. Ladies last. So I'm gonna start off with Mr. Red Illusion first. Give me your final thoughts, and if you were to vote, who would you vote for?
Well, I think Trump came into this unprepared and he was a little shaky at the beginning, but like we said, after she hit him with the rally insult and the bankruptcy, he really fired up. And if you listen to the rest of this debate, it's pretty good. It kind of winds down, gets kind of boring. I think I fell asleep during their final statements, but Kamala Harris seemed a little bit nervous. She's never been in a debate before. She's lost all her primaries previously, but it was very entertaining. It was honestly what I expected, but it's a good thing. If I was to vote today, unfortunately, I'd have to grind my teeth and vote for Donald Trump. Even though I really don't support Israel, I don't want to go to war with Iran. I'm not for, a lot of the things he did pertaining to censorship and warp speed. But when it comes to the, things I find important, inflation, the economy, World War III, the border, he's more aligned to me than
I
whatever
can't
that
tell
thing
if
is.
he's serious, and that's very concerning.
Sorry, were you about to play a clip?
I can't tell if he's serious, and that's very concerning.
What is that? What are you doing?
His name is Piccolo. You didn't see it?
Hey man, you gotta pay the $199 to upgrade that feature, buddy.
Y'all really can see it. Y'all really can see that shit.
No, I just
I
saw the
see it.
loading bar.
Oh, I saw it.
You might have bad internet over there. It was
just
pretty
a little
much
green guy.
Yeah, it's pretty much Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. He said, "I can't tell if he's serious, and that's very concerning."
No, but I'll keep it a buck. And you can find me at Red Illusion on all platforms, Instagram, SoundCloud, etc.
He stole that sniper on all platforms. Fucking next up, we are going to Mr. Bean's World, sir. Final thoughts on that debate, and if you had to vote, or if you are going to vote, matter of fact, if you had to vote, who would you vote for?
Final thoughts on the debate. I wish there'd be another one. I really didn't think they got everything out that I really wanted to hear or cared about to know. Honestly, if I had to vote, it'd probably be for Trump, just off the simple fact that the business ideals that he stands on. I'm not with the whole support in Ukraine and all the giving money away and all that. Now, as far as like the deportation of illegal immigrants and all that, I'm not with ripping families apart. I don't support that. But there are different policies that I do support and certain things that I don't support. So, and a lot of Kamala's policies are basically a photocopy right out of the book for Biden's. And I just don't want a whole another 4 years of this. It's beyond hyperinflation now. We're at a point of no return if we go through this again. Because the Democrats, they unfortunately they hate crypto. The Republicans, they love it. When the Republicans are in crypto, I mean, you had millionaires popping up every day, and you look around now, it's not happening. So, I mean, my vote would go for Trump at this point. I mean, I'd have to really hear something good have to come from the Dems for me to get that, for them to get that vote. If I were to vote.
All right, respect. Disagree with half of it, but respect.
Hey,
Oh, I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Trump would be really good for crypto. Like if Trump won, I'm going into crypto all in.
Look, it is, and that's why I didn't try my best to get a lot better with. Like, even if I disagree, man, like, I respect it. I ain't gonna hold you because I want people to come up here and give their point of view, regardless of whether I agree or disagree with it. So, I feel you.
I turned $500 into 12. So, and I haven't been able to do that 12,000, and I haven't been able to do that in 4.5 years now.
What, just Bitcoin?
No. I was part of the what was that before everything? Fucking SHIB.
Doggy coin.
I was one of the SHIB. I was one of the SHIB babies. Nah, Shiba.
Oh, yep.
The last bubble, the last one everybody got. That was it.
You got in, bro.
Yeah.
Well, look, don't feel no type of way, man. We kind of did have a pandemic and the financial markets all crashed and shit. So that kind of fucked up a lot of people. And then crypto started losing its value. But, you know,
they lost that lawsuit with the Dems and Biden, and they signed that law. And they taxed that shit at like 22.5 or whatever that capital gain shit is. Yeah.
Yep.
Get that money, baby. Next
you're
up,
getting the money, but you're gonna have to give it away. You finna give it away.
Right. Just holding Bitcoin. Now you got to pay corporate tax or
I was talking about the federal government. I wasn't talking about the people that was investing. I was being an asshole. But you know,
that's what he's saying.
Look, we're gonna go to Miss Jackson next. Once again, final thoughts on the show. And if you had to vote today, well, if you had to vote, who would you vote for?
All right, the debate was great. I say the caller Joy, Kamala Harris, killed it. She nailed it. She broke them. I think, in my enlightenment, Project 2025 is serious, is real, and it would be life changing. You know what I'm saying? So, at this point, I just believe that she came with the better policy. She was very prepared and executed extremely well. Pretty much You got to watch the whole debate because a lot of stuff we discuss, she touches on it, she answers those questions, and Trump makes his response and speaks as well on it. But it's the same old cycle with Trump, same old thing, insult and attack instead of focusing on, and she makes this point clear. Hey, let's move forward. We're not going back, and let's focus on the plan. Let's move forward. Let's turn the page, and you focus on the wrong thing. What are we going to do to make a change and a difference right here in the moment right now so we can further our nation? Ghosty, I want to say, I missed your show last Sunday. I had some things come up and I definitely want to join, but I will see you here shortly and join with you here soon. And Jay, I'll be in town the weekend, so we should get up.
Hey, who you will vote for?
The Call of Joy, Kamala Harris.
All right, got you.
Democracy.
Next up, we got Miss Ghosty. Girl, give me your final thoughts. I know you got in here a little late.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, by the way. Yeah, whenever you want to stop in, go for it.
Don't go over there, her show. Come to mine. Fuck her show.
So,
I'm not getting notifications for you anymore. I don't know why.
I guess YouTube hates me now already too.
Look, you added to the list because people don't get notifications for my shit either. Did anybody get one tonight?
No, I didn't. I haven't.
I got one. I got one. That's why I was here so early.
Okay. Maybe they picking and choosing. But keep going. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so yeah, I watched the whole debate last night. I think Kamala fucking killed it. I think she did come very prepared. I think because she cares. I think Donald Trump just thought he could get away with just like little insults and not having any facts or policy or plans ready to present. There were a few things that I would critique her on. Nobody's perfect. I think there was a few things that I think she could have done better, but overall I think she nailed it. I was like very happy to see what she said. As far as like inflation and stuff, I mean, of course there's things we can always do better in this country to help it, but it is a worldwide issue right now. I think all the money that was given out during COVID probably has a lot to do with it. But it is a world issue. It's not just America, so I wouldn't just blame Biden for that. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust Trump. I don't like that him and the Republicans kind of undermine our country and the Constitution and the democracy that we have right now and all of that. Yeah, I think she did great, and I would definitely vote for her.
All right. Look, y'all.
Wait, what about you? Who would you vote for, Jay?
Oh yeah, I'm about to say it.
Who would you vote for, Jay?
Yeah, I'm about to say it. I just gonna go on my little soliloquy and get my final thoughts.
Cool.
When it comes down to this debate right here, I have a big vendetta against both of these motherfuckers. But I will be honest, I have more smoke for Trump than I do for her. Like straight up, it shouldn't even be a question for anybody that knows me and knows the stuff that I talk about. I don't like that motherfucker. I don't believe in trying to get innocent people killed, and I don't believe in not renting to people and shit like that. But that happened years ago, and I know supposedly somebody told me earlier that they actually covered that topic in there. When it comes to the economy, I don't look at any of the presidents as somebody that's going to decide our economy, because technically they don't. Who owns the purse and who writes the laws? That's the House and the Senate. The president is just a motherfucker that signs off on the shit. So the motherfuckers can just be an influence to how we want to move as a country at the time. In this debate, I believe she has some good lines, but I've been watching these debates for the little bit of time that I've been on this earth, and this shit's played out. It's fucking played out. Watching, like, when I look at both of them, I'm like, I don't believe neither one of y'all. I don't truly believe any of y'all give a fuck about us.
Why even ask them questions? Just let them name call each other at this point.
Well, see, we need to get away from that. That's one thing that we need to get away from. This this hyperbolic, insulting, and all this other bullshit that they've been doing lately, ever since Trump ran the first time. I think, man, look, man.
She answered more questions. Trump
Yeah,
dodged
he
most of
started
his
it. That's the way he
questions.
rolls.
We
That's
actually
Donald
did the
Trump
count
shit.
last night on the panel, and we found that she not only did she get less of difficult questions, she answered less of the questions when it was direct questions, and the personal attacks were 13-2. She had way more personal attacks than Trump in this debate.
Man,
I
y'all
don't
fucking up.
trust those numbers, but
Y'all fucking up my final.
We recorded them and went it through on the stream yesterday. You can watch it. I'll send you the link in here.
She responded to his statements. She just stood up to the bully.
she did throw in some zingers, and he fell for it too. He got totally triggered. He
Yeah.
got totally sidetracked, and
Yeah.
he just had to like answer to his ego instead
Yeah.
of like sticking to the debate prompt. And he
Right.
just
Yeah.
she trapped him. She
Yeah.
trapped him, and
She
he fell
used that
for
as a
it.
game plan to win.
I think both sides got what they want. Republicans got a long form discussion that they can find some good one-liners from, and Democrats got some clips for TikTok.
All right, I'm gonna get back to my final.
No, we won the debate.
Look, when it comes down to it, man, I don't like neither one of them. But if I had to vote, it's just fucked up to even. I wanted y'all to answer the question. I didn't want to answer it, but
Just say
I'm
it.
gonna tell y'all why.
You already went on your soliloquy. Just answer.
Jay, you already answered the question.
Yeah, we already know you're going to agree with the other two women on this panel, just to be clear, for the
You
record.
already answered the question, dude.
I kind of did way earlier in the show. Look, I would rather.
You defending it.
Look, I would rather.
You pulling a politician right now.
Look, I'm about to tell.
Man, it's like this. Who you trust in your life more? Would you trust your life more in Trump hand or Kamala hand? It's just that simple.
Not neither one of them, because it's just the president.
Yeah, true that. Look, because I'm petty, I'm very petty. I would prefer her to win, just so I can see the racist whites get mad, and I want them to jump and do something. That's the only reason. I don't trust either one of them on the.
Okay, so you're
but it's
well.
okay.
No, what he's saying is he's an accelerationist, and that's a perfectly acceptable answer. Because like I could easily say, you know what, I'm voting for Kamala because I want this country to go to shit, and watch all those people eat their words.
Well, I don't.
I literally was like, I almost want to see Donald Trump win just to see what would happen, but I would never. I'm like not risking
yeah,
that.
I
But
mean-
I
You're going to
literally
jail.
would want to see.
No, you
what
wouldn't.
would
Right.
happen. No, you're right. You're right, Jackson. I really wouldn't, but I'm just so curious, but like in a really fucked up way, you know.
I'm more curious about Trump's second term. I plan on leaving the country in
I just
like
feel
4
like
years.
he's some
But if Kamala
crazy
wins,
shit
I'm
would
leaving in
happen
2.
That I don't.
Look, I have this.
Trump might get it now.
Look, I have these two thoughts in my head. I would want him to win just so I can get past his last 4 years and we can move the fuck on from this shit. But
Well, think about
I
it this
think-
way, dude. If he wins, this manosphere content actually has a hold in the people
not
who
in
would
the manosphere.
control.
I'm not
Trump is a beast. He
men's,
still got a
you know
good
what I'm talking
chance
about.
at
Men's
winning.
issues when it comes to abortion, when it comes to men's rights in the family courts and whatnot. We have a better stranglehold in a position with a.
He don't give a fuck about that
No,
shit, man.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just a Republican victory in general.
Yeah, but I don't want see that's the thing that gets me, and I'm so torn between the two because I don't like either one of them. One side represents something to me that I could never get behind, and another side represents something to me that I can also never get fucking behind. I'm not with the feminist fucking movement shit over on the left with Kamala, and honestly, I don't think the bitch has no plan to do anything, but I don't think she's dumb. Trump, I think he has the racists behind him, and I think he's fucking stupid. Straight up. So I'm kind of in between a rock and a hard place when it comes down to it. But just to get my pettiness off my chest, let her win. And
Don't say let her win. Say you would vote for her.
I would vote for it if I was gonna vote, just to piss the fucking racists off, and I want to see if they gonna jump and move and do something. But honestly, if Trump got in there, we'll move past it. We'll be 4 years and done. Then Republicans and conservatives have to figure out who will be their next guy, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be somebody that talks and walks like this motherfucker. But
I think it will be. I think the next. I think the
Donald Trump said we ain't got to worry about vote no more if he wins.
According to The
Donald
Simpsons, this is it anyway.
If Donald Trump doesn't win this election, I really think that the whole radical Republican movement is gonna chill out, and I think we're gonna get stable, level-headed.
Chill out? Are you kidding me? They're gonna be more MAGA than ever.
Nah, them niggas trying to go into a World War III.
You mean like Bush and Dick Cheney who endorsed Kamala?
Look, I just want to see if the motherfucker's gonna pop off, because it's been a lot of talking, man. Like for real, the thing that is the most scariest.
You're an accelerationist. You want shit to pop off. You want to make things interesting.
No,
that's exactly what Trump says.
Look, I want to pull people's bitch cards. The scariest thing in this country is a scared white man. And he scares white people. No, the scariest thing in this country is the scariest thing in this country is a scared white man. And
really?
Trump plays on it.
Not true, bro. That's not true at all.
I know a lot of scared white men. They're not really that
the most, and this is proven. The most deadliest, scariest thing in America is a white woman's tears.
No, and who does it scare?
The white man.
Who's the one going out and doing something?
It goes back to the result. Same thing.
When white men get scared, shit pops off. I will give white men their props. When they get scared about something, they'll fight their homeland. When white people get scared, they'll fight each other. When they get scared for their women, they will go kill niggas.
But we're not. It's not because we're scared. Let me just say that. Because like
oh my
God. No, white people are crazy,
never get scared. White people aren't afraid of anything ever.
Well, who's climbing the Mount Everest? Who's going camping in Alaska? It's white people.
Yeah, because
who explored the entire world, who conquered the
That's
entire
their comfort
world.
zone.
Actually,
listen, white people just like doing stupid shit. There you go.
That's what I'm saying. They like swimming with sharks.
I'm one of them. I can swim. I do Alaska excursions. I hunt. I fish. I can clean the deer. You know, I kill chickens. I'll slaughter a pig. I got a neighborhood pet bear that I'm about to turn into a fucking rug as soon as I catch his ass. But
yeah, and this is no slight what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, like, let's say hypothetically, a gang was coming after you, right? And all these gang members were black people from the hood. The first place you would go would be like Alaska, somewhere where there's bears, because they're not trying to mess with any bears. I mean, have you ever seen?
So you're not scared of the bears, but you're scared of the black guys.
If they're a gang, they have guns. They don't
that's why we go into
the
woods.
I ain't going to the woods. It's 2024. I'm gonna go to Birmingham, get me a couple switches.
Exactly.
Look, the problem that we have in America is the indoctrination. We have made black men the boogeyman of America when we know for a fact.
But
that
see,
black
dude,
people,
we're not making you the boogeyman anymore.
Hold up. Just listen to my thought, and you can follow after. In America, we have historically made black men the boogeyman, but black people are the most forgiving motherfuckers on the planet. Black Americans
maybe
black men. Okay,
we are. Even our women. Some of our
I've
women.
had people tell me. I've had people tell me you don't act like you're kind. I've had people say that to me.
because he stereotype. It's the stereotype that's been portrayed that makes everybody think you're a certain type of way.
You have to break
but people of your own kind will say the same thing to you. Be like, "Oh, you be camping and catfishing, motherfucker."
What? You don't think my own people can be indoctrinated against themselves?
Well, most people are at this point.
Exactly. So you're proving the point. A scared white man, a white man that is inferior is the most dangerous thing to America.
Wait, if he's inferior, how is he dangerous?
It ain't got to be just the white.
You ever heard of man go back a dog into a corner?
We can take this away
Right,
from
but
races
the dog
and
in
just
that
say
situation,
rich
the dog is not
people.
inferior because
No,
you
I
can
ain't
fuck
saying
him
rich
up.
people. The rich people ain't gonna be the ones going out there doing nothing. It's gonna be the
Yeah,
poor.
yeah. The rich people are gonna hide in their bunkers.
They gonna
No,
be
I'm
poor.
talking about if rich people are scared about losing their money and losing their power, they're gonna do whatever it takes to keep it.
No, they already got it. They already have it. All they have to do is hide in their bunkers and let the whole world burn.
The biggest trick that America's pulled is they convinced
They
the
probably
poor
caused
whites.
the world to burn.
Look, the greatest trick that
Yeah, obviously.
America has proved, they tricked the poor whites, who the rich whites take advantage of and everybody else. They convince them that other people are their problems and they make them afraid of other people.
Yeah, but
they keep
they
their
did a lot of cool things too. Like the poor whites broke away from the monarchy of England and wrote a constitution. That
Oh, that's
constitution
cool now?
led
That's cool
to
now,
the
Red? I thought you were all about monarchy and dictatorship.
no.
And now
It's
that's cool?
it's again. I'm just going with Jay's logic right now.
Look, some
And
of
those people
my
wrote the
best
constitution that led to the abolition of slavery.
Bean can tell you this. Some of my best friends growing up, especially when I was in the town that me and he was in, where we went to high school together at. Some of my best friends were white people. My best
Selma.
friend, most of my, I hung out with more. Bean. Did I hang out with more of the white people or the black people when you knew me?
Me and you were in the same boat, bro. We were like black rednecks. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I always call it a black white boy. I fuck with white. I fuck with
That's
people.
that's one thing I am jealous about the South for, because I always want to go to the South, because if you got a hillbilly ass white person and a hillbilly ass black person, they're best buds, and there's nothing separating them, no matter what the headline is.
I can speak to that 100%.
One of my best friends at the job I work at right now, he don't work there no more because he called another black dude a monkey. This motherfucking dad had a fucking KKK flag in their living room. I used to go over there and we used to get fucked up. I ain't got no problem with you not liking whoever the fuck you like. I'm just letting you know. I would rather her win, just for the simple fact that, see, the ones who have these radical beliefs, like something that's been indoctrinated in them, that's been passed down for years. I want to see them pop off, because if I had the greatest wish I could ever get, if I had one wish and I could get this accomplished, not for myself but for everybody else, I want all the racist people to die. And that means it's gonna be some black people dead, it's gonna be some Hispanics dead, it's gonna be some Asians dead, it's gonna be some white people.
Yeah, a lot of Asians dead.
Let them go, because I get tired of that dumb shit. Like, how the fuck? I judge people on the individual level. I don't judge people.
When I lived in South Florida, I ran into more racist Spanish people than I did.
Oh, a lot of Hispanics don't like black people, man. A lot of Hispanics
Dude, in the West Coast, they're doing a genocide on black people right now.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Genocide?
I saw that. Yeah, they like.
Yeah, the Mexican gangs are taking over the turf violently.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but
there's
them
all over the country. It's always like Latin and
Oh no, he's talking about the
black
gangs
people.
that were already there, like the ones that were already there. not like-
Hey, but I done seen them Hispanic guys trying to holler at black girls.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They do that when ain't nobody looking.
They ain't gonna pay a dime, but they sure want to holler at them.
And they're not going to bring them back home to the family.
But as white men enslaved black people as a whole, but they were still fucking black women. The same people that will say they don't like your people will fuck with you. That's one thing I've learned throughout my entire life. I've been to probably about 3 different continents. I don't know how many fucking countries. Those people that do not fucking like you, but guess what? All these
dude, come on. A nut is a nut at the end of the day. Second of all,
exactly.
Just because you think of, and this goes for all races of people across all history, just because you think a group of people is inferior, doesn't mean you don't think their women are hot.
Yeah, look, you fuck with anything, man. Pussy. Dick is dick for women. Well, some dick is dick, you got levels to it. But look, either way though, we can take the rest of this shit to the back chat, y'all. It's been
Yeah, this is going crazy.
Good fact check. Good fact check.
Yeah, look. Fucking look, y'all. It's been fun. It's been great. Look, we're gonna be back here again tomorrow over on the JVJ Network. If y'all are not subscribed over here, man, please make sure y'all come and subscribe. We'll be back over on Let's Talk in a couple months, but it ain't gonna be no time soon. But this is fun. We're gonna keep trying to cover these type of topics. I actually tomorrow might be a Pop the Balloon reunion. I think I want to cover that one. But I do on Friday. It's gonna be the Friday night show. We are gonna cover a couple cop videos. So anybody that's interested in covering and holding these people accountable for the things they do, show up, pop up.
When are you going to finish this?
This one right here. Oh, I'm done with that shit. I'm done with that shit already.
Oh, you missed the good parts though.
I'll watch it tomorrow. I'm done with that shit. I was irritated the entire time. I didn't even want to cover this shit. But besides that, look, y'all, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, everybody that's supporting, everybody that popped up on the panel tonight. This is great. And we want to keep doing this and keep grinding, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit these likes. Y'all hit those subscribes. Y'all make sure y'all share the videos. Turn your notice on. YouTube be on that funny shit, so make sure you click all. But we're going to get the fuck up out of here, man. We'll catch y'all in the next one. As always, man. Peace.
Peace.